the Southern University Choir from right here in Houston, getting us ready for Game 1 of the World Series on Fox. Presented by Capital One. Justin Verlander's got the whole world in his hands here in Game 1 of the World Series. The 39-year-old in his 17th year makes his 34th postseason start here tonight. Back from Tommy John, he's been as good as ever. And the resume is so long. This guy's done just about everything in his big league career. Misses 2 full seasons with the injury. Comes back. There's a good chance he's going to win a 3rd Cy Young Award this season. This one, though, John, is shocking. He's made 7 starts in the World Series in his career. He's not gotten a win in the Fall Classic.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Some time has taken place since those. Look for tonight, though, against a very aggressive lineup. The key's going to be for both pitchers, opposite parts of the strike zone. Top of the strike zone for Justin Verlander be key. Throws a lot of high fastballs, good curveball, slider, occasional changeup. He's a strike thrower against an aggressive team. Look for that narrative, that record to change tonight if he's on his game.
Kyle Schwarber stands in, and off we go with Game 1 of the World Series and strike 1. Kyle Schwarber, the National League home run champion, with 46 of them this year. He's hit 3 more in the postseason. His Phillies offense with 15 home runs in its last 7 games. Verlander's 0-1 is to the inside corner for strike 2.
And that's why he's so tough. We're going to show you tonight the difference between the release points of both starting pitchers and why the hitter has a different view off of Justin Verlander. His ability to pitch up and his ability to come over the top makes it tough on left-handers. Quite frankly, it makes it tough on every hitter when he's on his game.
He's got the highest release point in baseball. Way over the top. 3rd start of this postseason for him, coming off beating the Yankees in the first game of the championship series. Schwarber hooks one down the line, but foul. And that is what this guy does. He can hit it a country mile. You've seen him do throughout his career in the postseason. Here's that look from Verlander you're talking about, John.
Yeah, he gets you on a high 3/4 right over the top, and then he can break the baseball 2 different ways. That slider didn't break as much. That's why Schwarber was able to give it to it. But a 12-6 type curveball and then a sharp breaking slider with occasional changeup.
Another 0-2. He's the kind of guy that if you've got a weakness, he's got a way to expose it.
Yeah, no doubt. He can throw the ball to all 4 quadrants of the strike zone when he's on his game. Look, Schwarber likes the ball top of the zone, but a lot of hitters in this lineup do not. And so he's going to try to change the eye level of the hitters through a variety of different looks in this fastball.
Home with a 1-2. Goes back up there. Schwarber takes it, and the count evens 2-2.
And with the Phillies being a high swing type team, if he makes pitches early, he'll get quick outs. He'll get a lot of strikeouts. And Verlander's coming off of 15 straight hitters he recorded outs in his last game in his postseason start.
They really turned the corner partway through that game against the Yankees. His 2-2 is a breaker that's fouled off. Now, Game 1 of the postseason for Verlander was one of his worst ever in October. He gave up 6 runs on 10 hits to the Mariners. Jordan Alvarez saved him with the walk-off home run, and then got off to a bumpy start against the Yankees. 55 pitches over the first 2 innings. Gave up a walk and a double in the 3rd, but then he went on that run you're talking about. Didn't give up a base runner the rest of the way. His 7th pitch to Kyle Schwarber. Gets him looking. And he starts the World Series with a strikeout. So Schwarber's down. The rest of the lineup for the Phillies looks like this. Hoskins will come to the plate now. Then it's JT Realmuto. There was some talk about flipping Realmuto and Harper in the order, but Rob Thompson says, I think that's overthinking it. He sticks with what's gotten him here. Castellanos and Bohm following Harper. Then the rookie Stott with Gene Segura and Brendan Marsh.
Well, we talked about the different breaks that he can put on his breaking pitch. This one goes down in the inner part of the plate and just covers the strike zone.
Ball.
And what he's going to try to do against Hoskins and a lot of right-handers who struggle with the breaking ball, which Hoskins has. You see the 5 home runs. He got hot late. Look for left field of both these ballparks to play a huge part. Now, left field here is pretty unique. It's short, and that's where a lot of hitters want to go.
Hoskins loves to pull the ball over there. Gets under this one. Sky high to center field for Chas McCormick. 2 up. 2 down in this first inning. But the defense behind Verlander is one of the clear strengths and one of the clear advantages in this series for the Astros when you're looking at these teams head-to-head. Alvarez and Tucker flanking McCormick. Left side of the infield, Bregman and the rookie Pena, who's been one of the best defenders in baseball this year. Altuve's at second, Gurriel's at first, and Martin Maldonado does the catching.
Well, here's what we're looking at right here. Short little Crawford box wall there. That's a place where a lot of left-handed and right-handed hitters can go. But center field in both these ballparks is where the pitchers want to keep the ball. A lot of room in center field, right and left field, a lot of home runs.
JT Realmuto. These are the top 2 home run hitting teams this postseason. Realmuto's got a couple of them. One of them an inside the park homer. One of the most complete players in baseball, the Phillies catcher. On a 1-0 from Verlander, Realmuto watches a curve dip a little bit low.
And see, that's what he wants to do. He wants the corners, he wants the curveballs to get the eyes of the hitters leaking one way and then bust them with a fastball. Top of the zone fastball, and these breaking balls are going to change the rhythm of the offense.
Here's his 2-0 pitch. That's high, ball 3. Well, these Phillies saw Justin Verlander back on October 4th, and he fired 5 no-hit innings against him. Struck out 10 over those 5 innings. Now, granted, it was the day after the Phillies clinched their postseason spots. Already hard enough to face Verlander. Probably some blurred vision going on after the party. 3-0 pitch. Strike 1.
Well, Verlander of old could throw it 99 to 100, and one thing that made him special is he would have that velocity late. I've called him a 10-speed bike because he had speeds that he could get and rev up. He might be 7 or 8 speeds now when he's 39 years old, but he still knows how to change velocity and location.
Here's his 3-1. Yes, caught the corner and the count goes full. And we saw him reach back against New York. He touched 98.5 against the Yankees. So he sits 94-95, but he can fire it in there when he needs to.
He can. There's that straight over the top delivery. He catches the corner on a 3-1 pitch. Now it brings in a breaking ball if he wants, based on the kind of hitter that JT is.
Verlander looking for a 1-2-3 first. Poked to right. Tucker's there. That's the inning. Astros come to bat in game 1 when you come back. Here come the Astros in game 1 with Jose Altuve set to lead it off, and then it's Jeremy Pena, the ALCS MVP. Yordan Alvarez bats third. Alex Bregman out of the cleanup spot, followed by Kyle Tucker and Yuli Gurriel. Mancini, McCormick, and Maldonado round things out for Dusty Baker. On the mound for the Phillies, this is fitting, John, that it's Aaron Nola, who's their longest tenured player. He's waited and waited for his shot. And as they make it back to the World Series, he's got the ball.
Yeah, this is going to be an unbelievable contrast of styles against a team that doesn't strike out very much. Second best in all the league. Nola, as you see the pitch mix, he could throw strikes with all of them. And that's going to be an interesting dilemma for him as he faces some of these aggressive hitters for the Astros. He could have about a 7-pitch inning, or it could be a 27-pitch inning, depending on which Astros are at the plate. And Nola has had 6 consecutive games at least with 6 strikeouts or more. We'll see who gives in this matchup.
It is Jose Altuve to lead off. And it's a perfectly located fastball for a strike. Well, these Astros are unbeaten in the postseason, even though a bunch of their star players aren't hitting. Jose Altuve, who's a 3-time batting champ, had an unthinkable 0 for 25 to start this postseason, and comes in at 3 for 32 overall. Now an 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off.
Okay.
Well, he's not very big, as you can see, but he covers everywhere on the plate and probably swings more outside the zone than anybody in baseball, but you can't argue his results. The timing must be off. The time off might help him get that timing back. But look for this pitch right now out of Nola to be nowhere close to the strike zone, and see if he can get him to expand it even further.
Here he comes. Tries to get him to. Altuve takes it.
So what he'll do is see how far he can get Altuve to expand, and then there's going to be a time, it might even be in this at bat, where he busts him in to even open up a way, because Altuve dives for a little guy. He covers a lot of space in that batter's box.
Leading this one off. He does come inside, and it's chopped foul.
And so now, after you come inside, you set the tone. You're not afraid to go in there. And Nola's one of the best at reaching both sides of the plate. He gets in. All he can do is foul it off in there. And that opens up now. That opens up the outside part of the plate with a breaking ball. Sometimes he'll double up in there. He's got a great changeup arm side to a right-hander and left-hander.
1-2 on Altuve. Nola comes back home and gets him to chase.
That's perfect right there. I mean, that's watching a lot of film and understanding when you're facing a team as good as Houston, you have to make pitches to put them in their mind that you're on your game. And he did exactly that in the first at bat. You see how wildly he swung at that. Because he went inside, he opened up the outside part. Perfectly executed.
So a strikeout begins Aaron Nola's World Series.
Now, here's another guy that will swing at every breaking ball that he sees. If it's in the strike zone, he will swing at it. But you can't argue with the success he's had lately, especially in the postseason.
That is Jeremy Pena, American League Championship Series MVP for the Astros. He takes strike one. So it's not Altuve, it's not Alvarez, not Bregman, it's not any of these big names. But here's a great example of this machine of the Astros. They just keep churning them through. And the replacement for Carlos Correa has met and exceeded expectations in his first year.
And he's caught himself. Look, the last time we watched his videos, he threw him nothing but breaking balls. So he started off with 2 straight fastballs, and you could see Pena probably looking for spin. Didn't see it. Took the first 2 pitches.
He's saying, wait a minute, that's not what you do. He takes that one. And Tom told us, but Aaron Nola pitched here 25 days ago, and he took a perfect game into the 7th inning. That was the night that the Phillies clinched the postseason. That was also the last time the Astros lost a game.
Pretty amazing.
Oh, it's been 25 days. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2. So 2 fastballs, then 2 curves, and Pena takes them.
Yeah, the 2 curveballs were nowhere close to the plate. Anything over the plate and it ends up down, Pena will swing at it. And those 2 curveballs, now he's seen 2 of them, but those were 2 curveballs that never even enticed him to think they were going to be a strike coming out of his hand.
Nola tries again. He goes back to the fastball and gets him. Back-to-back Ks to start the night for Nola.
That's how you make a statement in your first World Series game against a team that doesn't strike out very much. What does he do? He strikes out the first 2, pitching that one just a little bit backwards to Pena. And now the meat of the order, and a guy that single-handedly won him the first series. Been cooled off since.
Yeah, what are teams doing to Yordan Alvarez?
They're pitching him up now. He's been handling the ball down and away pretty well, but they're throwing and attacking him with fastballs. Look for Nola to have a backdoor curveball if he needs a strike, but to elevate and get the fastball inside, tie up this big slugger.
One of the most feared hitters in baseball. Yordan Alvarez takes low, ball 1.
There's the backdoor curveball. He pretty much over 65% of the time can throw those breaking balls anytime he wants for a strike. That's a luxury to get a called strike.
Here's his 1-0. It's a fastball that misses, ball 2. So Yordan Alvarez, that rare combination of average and power and discipline. Complete offensive player. Dusty Baker says it's a hitter with slugger's power. On a 2-0 pitch, fouls it off, and it's 2-1.
Now, as the game progresses, that's a pitch he can go. We've seen Harper, and we're going to talk about Harper being able to hit the ball the other way with power. That's the exact thing that Alvarez has, the ability to hit for power away. Now, this one was just dotted on the outside part of the plate, but he loves the fastball down, and he can hit it away as well.
25-year-old already in his 3rd World Series. Takes inside, and he's ahead 3-1. He's made a big impact in all his postseason trips. As a rookie in 2019, he hit above 400 in the World Series. He's the ALCS MVP last year, and then this year, John Touchdown almost single-handedly won him the division series. 3-1.
Ball four.
Alvarez takes the walk and the first base runner of the day. So here comes Alex Bregman, who for you, John, is the scariest hitter in this lineup right now.
Yeah, because what he does is he takes away the strengths of a starting pitcher or reliever because he is so disciplined. You got to pitch. This is the irony here. You've got to make him inconscious, but you don't want to live in there because he destroys pitches on the inside part. He rarely swings and misses outside, and he rarely expands the zone. So what does that say? You better make a lot of quality pitches. You can strike him out on the looking variety on the ball away that he gives up on. But a tough matchup here against anybody he faces.
Here he faces his old college roommate at LSU, and Aaron Nola. He takes ball one. Now, both these guys now big league all-stars. Years ago, they were at LSU. The odd couple, they said, as roommates. Completely different people. You've got Alex, who's super outgoing. Aaron, very quiet, calm, very tidy. Alex is the other way. He used to pay Aaron to do his laundry. Both love baseball, though. Both love working hard. That's foul, and it's 1-1. Aaron would have Alex over to his family's pond to go fishing. He said, okay, I'm going to do that, but you got to come with me. We're going to the biggest party tomorrow night. So they push and pull throughout their time as roommates and teammates. Alvarez at first, 2 gone, 1-1 pitch. Bregman skies it on the infield. Alec Bohm waits on it to come down and ends this first inning. Off and rolling in the World Series. No score. Part of the line to the second inning. And it is Bryce Harper to lead off against Justin Verlander. How good is this matchup?
Well, it is about as good as it's going to get when you talk about 2 stars going in the right direction right now. High swing percentage on the first pitch.
See if he gets anything to hit. A high fastball, strike one.
And what he does, though, is going to be interesting about Justin Verlander in tonight's game. He takes away the breaking ball. Now, that doesn't mean you can't throw him a breaking ball. You better not leave one in the zone because that's where Bryce Harper's done damage. And we're going to show you as the game plays on the damage he's done going the other way. That's right. Bryce Harper going the other way for damage.
Half his hits in this postseason have come the other way, including that iconic home run.
Remember I told you about the top of the strike zone for Justin Verlander. If he's on, that is a bad recipe for the Philadelphia Phillies. And they'd say, oh, why don't you just lay off of it? Good luck. World Series, 94, 95 miles an hour, adrenaline rushing through your brain and your body. You're going to swing.
And even in April, those pitches look so juicy sitting there, and you swing, and it's like, how is that by me? Verlander shaken a couple times, and Harper will call time. Harper hitting .419, 5 home runs this postseason. He's down on 3 pitches here. All fastballs from Justin Verlander.
And that's about as good as it gets. First pitch is up, tried to get it in, floated over the plate, but that's that line. If you see a line above the belt, that's the tough pitch for Harper to hit. Then he goes right back to it, and then the next one moves a little bit more. See that lateral movement up, and that's going to be the one spot. Now, not many pitchers can do that 3 times. Justin Verlander lives up there. The release point in his fastball, it's almost made for his delivery.
He's retired the first 4. He's picked up right where he left off in that start against the Yankees. Nick Castellanos, as his knees buckled and takes off. Castellanos hit 34 home runs and was an all-star for the Cincinnati Reds last year, and parlayed that into a big money contract with the Phillies. He has struggled all year. His struggles have continued into the postseason. On a 1-0 from Verlander. Pops it up. Short right field. Uriel's out. 2 away.
Well,
you've got a chance to win 25 grand during every World Series game by simply playing Fox Bet Super 6. Just download the free Super 6 app on your phone and enter your 6 picks in the World Series contest for a chance to win Big Papi's money. If all 6 picks are right, you could win big.
Well, the pick for me on the Phillies, if they're going to have success in this series, Nick Castellanos and Alec Bohm are going to have to deliver. They're going to have to bust up a pitcher's philosophy that after Harper, you've got guys that have been struggling. He has been getting the barrel of the bat just enough underneath the ball, has Nick Castellanos. And Bohm, when he gets to 2 strikes, it's been a tough matchup for him. So look for Bohm to try to get early success.
On the first pitch, he swings at it and fouls it off. Because you know what you're getting right now from Bryce Harper. You can be pretty sure what you're going to get from the guys ahead of him. But beyond that, there's some youth. And there's some guys who have a track record of hitting that just haven't lately.
Well, here's the deal. When you look at your lineup card, Justin's already done all this. He's watched the video. He's seen all the things that's going on. You mark guys to where you're in trouble. Where do I go? If I need a strikeout, who do I get to? And he's got that formula against the Phillies in his mind.
Bouncing ball to third, foul.
So now here with 2 strikes, this is where Bohm has gotten really aggressive, and he struggled with 2 strikes to have success. And most hitters are going to struggle with 2 strikes. It's a hard thing to tell guys not to press, but when you're struggling, you press a little bit more.
Alec Bohm, who was the 3rd pick of the draft a couple years ago. It's been an up and down career for him. And an 0-2 from Verlander. He's the Rookie of the Year runner-up in 2020. So, high hopes when he gets drafted as high as he does. He fulfills those expectations the first year, but then last year was so bad that by the end of the year, he was sent to AAA. And he came into this season just hoping to make the team. He did in a bench role. Try to get more playing time and has turned this into a resurgent season. Back in the Phillies' plans. And another 0-2 from Verlander. He taps it in play. Verlander's there, and he's retired the first 6. $250,000 has already been donated to the Jackie Robinson Foundation through Capital One walk-off program. For every walk-off during the World Series, Capital One will donate an additional $75,000 to the foundation to honor the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking Major League Baseball's color barrier. Kyle Tucker leads off the second for the Astros. Aaron Nola comes home and misses away, ball 1. This right here is this guy who gets overshadowed by some of the bigger names in the lineup, but this is one of the most well-rounded players in the league.
Yeah, he's a superstar in the making. He's got raw power, speed combination, plays defense, likes to swing early, and will do damage.
On this 1-0 pitch, takes a strike, 1-1.
Now for Nola, he knows that that's the spot he wants to go to with 2 strikes. That's where the strikeouts come against Tucker. If you leave it out over the plate, though, you're not going to get much of a chance to retrieve that ball.
Tucker hit 30 home runs during the regular season. He golfs one here. Deep right field. Kyle Tucker puts the Astros on the board. And Kyle Tucker got exactly what you warned against giving him.
Yeah, he's got a long swing, and it's a changeup that leaks out over the plate, and he didn't get it back. And that's a mistake by Nola. You don't mind the solo home run, seems to be the theme, but in a game like tonight, I didn't anticipate many teams breaking out and getting a lot of runs.
Gurriel now into center field with a base hit. So Kyle Tucker with his 2nd home run of the postseason, and this has been the equation for the Astros, who have gotten 2/3 of their runs in the playoffs on homers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a long, majestic swing, no batting gloves, and his eyes lit up when he saw that pitch. Of course, Nola was trying to get the ball away, didn't get it away. And what the Astros do more than anybody is they score first. I mean, about a 62% clip, and that is how you keep the barrel of the bat in the zone. See the long arms.
Astros 1, Phillies nothing here in the second. Now Trey Mancini. Mancini trying to give the Astros something out of the DH spot. It's been a 0 for Houston. First one from Nola. A strike on Mancini, who has one of the great feel-good stories in baseball. Kenny?
Well, Joe, Trey Mancini missed the entire 2020 season while battling stage 3 colon cancer. And at that time, he was not confident he would play baseball again. In fact, he said it was the last thing on his mind. He just wanted to live, and if he got back to playing, great. He also understood that a possible side effect from his chemotherapy was neuropathy, and that's a condition that could cause permanent damage to the nerves outside his brain and spinal cord, jeopardizing his career in another way. He said, to be here, it's something I definitely don't take for granted. It still feels surreal.
30 years old in his 6th season in the majors now. They got him at the deadline from Baltimore. And 2 years after beating stage 3 colon cancer, here he is playing in the World Series. On a 1-1 from Aaron Nola, Mancini fouls it off, and it's 1-2. And he's not hit for the Astros, but he's always been a good hitter. In the previous 4 seasons, .270 average. He had 26 home runs a year. And Dusty Baker's just hoping one of these guys that he's given chances to in the DH hole can provide him something.
Yeah, tough matchup for Mancini here with the breaking ball that Nola can throw. He got ahead of him with fastballs, but he hasn't done much against the breaking ball, especially with 2 strikes. Wants to get this down and away.
Here it comes. That's where it is, but too far out. Mancini wasn't biting. 2-2.
Now that's the only thing early on that Nola normally is really good at. Arm side command, glove side command, which is both sides of the plate. But when he throws his breaking ball, he gives the hitter the sense that it's going to stay on plane on the plate, but then break off for a swing and a miss. And he's pulled a couple of them off the plate.
Here's his 2-2. That one's better, and he gets the chase for his 3rd K.
And that one popped out of his hand. At least looked like it was going to be a strike for a little bit to Mancini, even though it was way off the plate. See, it already committed. When the hitter commits, now he's just trying to emergency hack it. But this breaking ball selection and both pitchers, they change direction of the baseball so well that the hitters do have to hit mistakes. So far, Houston's got the 1 mistake on the board.
1-0 lead, 1 gone in this 2nd inning. Here's Chas McCormick. You know, the 2 biggest questions for the Astros coming into the year were shortstop and center field. And in the championship series, their shortstop won the MVP in Pena, and their center fielder in McCormick hit 2 home runs. He takes ball 1 from Nola. This guy's come from out of the middle of nowhere. Former 21st round draft pick who had some time starting last year, but back and forth between playing in a bench role, in and out of a platoon, before just now during the postseason locking up pretty much an everyday role.
Yeah, it's a very unique batting stance, and he's set up to hit the fastball. He loves the fastball, struggles with the breaking ball, so he's given up a little bit on the breaking ball, but he wants the low fastball or any fastball with the way he's attacking. See that first move? When his front hip buckles, then you know there's nothing left for the hitter to kind of let it go. He wants the fastball for power. You see that first move right there? See how the hip stops, and then there's no way he's able to pull the trigger.
He's hit 15 home runs this season between regular season and postseason. All but 1 of them have come on fastballs. That includes a home run against Garrett Cole in the championship series. On this 1-1, McCormick fights it off into right base hit. Get off me ball, says Chas McCormick. Castellanos' throw is cut off, and the Astros have him cornered.
Well, there's nothing you can do if you're Aaron Nola. That's just a hitter that gets jammed and gets rewarded because he wants to hit the ball the other way, or he can hit it the other way. And look how that bat, how it didn't break. But a jam shot base hit. And now the Astros got a chance to put another run on the board.
Third hit of the inning against Nola. Will be at first and third for the 9-hitter Maldonado in this World Series. Sign up for Taco Bell Rewards and get ready to steal a taco after the first stolen base. Only in the app. These two catchers that are going to make it tough to get tacos on everybody.
Yeah, you know, I would say that one of the success of the Astros will be if they get anything offensively out of their catchers. That's a huge bonus because these catchers defensively, along with JT Realmuto, can shut down the running game, and obviously Maldonado is so important to their pitching staff.
Yeah, he's a guy who is so important to the pitching staff, such a good leader, so well prepared that they consider him, even though he's one of the worst hitters in baseball, one of their most valuable players. A chance to chip in offensively here. First and third, one gone. Martin Maldonado tries to lay off, takes a strike.
Well, here you have the Astros and one of the best in baseball at putting the ball in play. And what they've done is that's a net 345 strikeouts less than their opponents, meaning they're striking out their opponents more, and they're putting the ball in play with the Astros. That's an incredible number. That is really why they've been here for the last 6 years.
It's been a staple of all these teams. Change up taken low, 1 ball, 1 strike. And, you know, they put the pressure on by putting the ball in play. Saw some cracks in the Yankees' armor that they took advantage of. That's the other thing. They put it in play, and they've been so good at anything that's given to them. They take advantage.
They do, and it's a credit to them and their organization. Even though they changed players, they didn't change philosophies. Breaking ball away is what I think Nola eventually wants to get Maldonado to either ground ball or swing and miss.
There it is, 1-2.
So now Nola's thinking, I got to get a strikeout. And there's the angle at which he throws that ball. Looks like it's coming at the right-hander and then breaks in the zone. Tremendous spin. A totally different breaking ball, by the way, than Justin Verlander's.
Nola's been really good in these spots in the postseason. Gurriel's at third and McCormick's at first with Altuve waiting on deck. Nola's 1-2. Spoiled. Maldonado stays alive.
And because Maldonado doesn't run very well, of course, the defense can sit back in their normal positions and have a better chance of turning a double play if he hits it on the ground. The dilemma here for Nola right now would be, okay, I've thrown him some breaking balls. Do I change his eye level with a high fastball and get him to aggressively swing? It's got to be high, though, and then you can come back with another breaking ball, or do you stay disciplined away in swing mode to Maldonado?
That's the one thing he's done. He's hit fastballs for homers this year. Another 1-2 pitch. He does go to the fastball, and it's swatted foul.
And you saw how late he was on it. So that's kind of the reading you would do if you're a pitcher and catcher, and what a hitter's sitting on and what you think you can take advantage of, but you have to execute that pitch. He did, above the strike zone. Now he can go right back to the breaking ball if he wants to, being that he was late on that fastball, or double up again right in that same area.
Astros on the board. Leadoff home run from Kyle Tucker. First and third, one gone. And another 1-2 to Maldonado. Runner takes off, and a ground ball base hit. Maldonado comes through, and it's 2-0 Houston. The bottom of the order for the Astros getting things started.
Well, he might go back and kick himself on this pitch selection. But when the hitters sees the runner going, that's an easiest pitch to hit the other way, a fastball down. A breaking ball, not as easy. And that is just what the Astros have been able to do. Look, they may not blow a lot of people out in the postseason, but they do enough to put pressure on you in every aspect of the game. And right now the pressure is solely on Aaron Nola. First and third.
Who now has to face the top of the order. That's one of the terrifying things about this Astros team. Even though they've not lost in this postseason, their offense has been far from its best. Altuve struck out his first time, and now 3 for 33 this postseason. First pitch, Altuve hits a grounder to short. The second one on to first. There's 2. And they limit the damage here. But the Astros strike first. It's Kyle Tucker. He gets overshadowed by some of the bigger names. But he makes his moment here in the World Series. Starting the scoring with a Soto shot. Maldonado adds on. 2-0 Houston in Game 1. A home run from that man. Kyle Tucker has started the scoring in this World Series. 2-0 Houston. Justin Verlander's retired the first 6. Bryson Stott leads off for the Phillies. And the rookie shortstop takes ball 1. Stott became the everyday shortstop for the Phillies in early August, and he has looked beyond his years so far in this postseason.
He's been amazingly great since he's come up, and the adjustments he's made may not show up in every statistic. And it has changed their defense. It's changed kind of the way their offense goes, and he's going to keep getting better. Couldn't hit a fastball at all when he first got called up. Now he fights them off, and he gets big hits on breaking balls and in the zone.
He has got 4 extra base hits in this postseason. 3 of those have come on breaking pitches. So he's seen a couple of heaters so far. Sees another here and fouls it back.
If you're going to give Justin Verlander the ability to throw up there and keep going up there with no adjustments, then he's going to do more like what he's done tonight. That first couple times through in Seattle, 8 for 20, and giving up 5 runs. Obviously tonight, making the adjustment.
Deals the 1-2. Stott fouls off another fastball. There are indeed player resume. Taking a look at Justin Verlander, 39-year-old from Virginia. You know, his Tommy John surgery in 2020, and at that point, 15 seasons in, a couple Cy Youngs, he's won a World Series, he's already going to the Hall of Fame. And he had to ask himself, do I really want to spend 2 years grinding through this rehab to come back and keep going? He decides to, and I mean, it's one thing, John, to make it back. It's another to do what he's done, not just make it back, but put up, you could argue, his best season.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. Got a chance to talk to him, obviously, when he was out of the way from the game, getting back from Tommy John. He learned a lot about his body. He learned a lot about what he had been through, and he feels like he's got 3 more years.
He's got his 3rd strikeout tonight. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Applebee's. All veterans and active military receive a free meal November 11th. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet? 7 up, 7 down for Justin Verlander.
Well, that's 22 in a row now. He's been able to go to that area, and again, because of his release point and command on that 4-seam fastball, he gets a lot of swings and misses. Now this guy's going to be different. He's the kind of unorthodox. He can get to that high fastball, so Justin's going to have to mix it up against Segura, who has been just a bulldog in that lineup for Philly.
Finally getting his chance in the postseason after 11 years without playing in a postseason game. 11 years, more than 1,300 games. Prior to this season, had never made it to the postseason. And that, at this stage of his career, became the motivation. This year he breaks his finger, has surgery on it, comes back way faster than they said he could, and said that he came back with as much focus and as much purpose as they've ever seen from him. Sensing it, smelling it, that he could get to October for the first time. Here's a bouncing ball to 3rd, and an easy play for Alex Bregman. Just in time to get Segura.
easy play, but he had to hurry the throw because Segura was burning down the first baseline. I think he was a little surprised when he got that ball in the glove, like, uh-oh, I got to put a little extra on this, and just barely got him.
He's kind of a physical freak. Gene Segura still runs like that at 32. He's strong as anybody. Yeah, made it a close play.
Well, I talked about the key for the Astros. If you get bonus out of their catchers, and they already did. They already got a run driven, a hit and a run driven in. The same's going to be for this Phillies 7, 8, 9. Whatever they get out of the 7, 8, 9 in this series would put them in a nice position.
Brandon Marsh on a first pitch fastball, pops it up, fading to the seats, and out of play.
Because this part of their lineup it's been rough to find some hits other than Segura. Marsh, of course, coming over here, securing the defense in center field. Offensively, did not have a good series, but they feel like they're working on some things to help him offensively. He will chase the high fastball again. It seems to be the theme in the Phillies lineup, especially the last three. Look for Verlander to expand that whenever he wants up in the zone.
Yeah, Marsh in the series against the Padres 0 for 13, 7 Ks, and a lot of those did come on those high fastballs. Now this 0-1 pitch, he gets another high heater and fouls it again.
Because what happens, Joe, when you're late, when a hitter is late, you cannot, there's no reason to change pitch selections when you're late. And he's been late to the ball with the barrel, just mechanically not getting on top of that pitch. So there's no real reason to change if you're not getting to the fastball.
Oh, 2 pitch. Breaks off a curve and strikes him out. Justin Verlander goes 9 up and 9 down to begin this game, and the MVP of the championship series, Jeremy Pena, 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Astros, leading game 1, 2-0. They lead 2-0. Getting a pair in the second against Aaron Nola. Nola, who fired Pena a bunch of breaking pitches when he saw him earlier this month, went back-to-back heaters to start the first time in here. A wrinkle.
Yeah, we want to mix it up a little bit and show him a different look each time. Pitch velocity, spin, curveball, all up. You can understand that for Nola being the World Series. Adrenaline's an incredible thing.
1 ball, 1 strike, and a good changeup.
But he's always had touch. He's always had the feel for the game. He's always had the feel for throwing strikes. And as we said, look, this is a challenge. Even though Houston may not have lit up the scoreboard in the offense, they still make you work for everything.
Oh, foul. And there's still guys in there, John, that it doesn't matter. Like Altuve, an 0 for 25 stretch. He's still Jose Altuve, and that still strikes fear into you.
Yeah, and they obviously have great numbers at home. They've won a ton of games, and they're very consistent throughout their lineup. And look, been there, done that. That helps. When you've got a roster that has a core of players that have been through as much as they have, you're not going to be thrown off by anything that comes your way.
Third World Series for the guy on deck in Alvarez. You've got Altuve and Bregman and Gurriel, who have all been there from the start. 81st postseason game for those guys since the start of 2017.
Yeah. And, you can pass on experience, but until you go through something, you can't flex your muscles saying we're experienced if you don't execute. When you flex your muscles, it's because you're doing the things that the other team isn't aware of or hasn't experienced yet, and you're putting them in the pressure cooker.
Shot down the line to the right field corner. Extra bases for Jeremy Pena to open the third. It's a leadoff double for the rookie.
Right now, his aggressive approach, he sees the ball and he tries to hit the ball, and that's why I was a little surprised again. Spin didn't come out of the hand of Nola. Tried to beat him with a fastball away. You see that flat bat and the ability to go where the pitch is thrown. Right now, he feels like he's not only not a rookie, but he's been here and played in the playoffs well beyond his years. He's showing the Astros fans what the future looks like.
Jordan Alvarez with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out, third inning. Incredible poise from Pena right away this season. He comes up and gets his chance. Never looked too big the moment. That is put in play. Bohm on the move. Not in time, and an infield hit for Jordan Alvarez. Rhys Hoskins says hang on, take a look at that, and they will.
Again, another incredibly bad luck for Nola. Hit off the end of the bat. That's what happens, though. Put it in play. Good things happen. Get a chance to see this replay. Here comes the throw, and the foot's up in the air, and I think they're going to win that one. I'm scorekeeping with Penn.
No, you can't on this.
I held off from not putting this down.
You can put it down.
5-3.
Yep. Pen, pencil, whatever.
All right, 5-3 and put it down.
It's a pretty good 5-3 too for Alec Bohm.
Great 5-3. I know Jordan doesn't run great, but he's not slow either.
The defense, of course, the biggest weak spot for the Phillies. Bohm has had his issues this season. Defense has gotten better as this year has gone on, and Bohm with a good play there. They get this first out of the third inning.
See, that foot goes down just before, and it makes that sound where it's a tough call for first base umpire is listening.
So one gone. Pena does take third. And it brings up Alex Bregman.
You think about it, there's no real way to see all of it as a first base umpire. You're listening for the sound. Thump, thump. You know, ball, glove, happening so fast.
And hard to hear anything this time of year.
Yeah.
So Bregman, who popped out his first time, hitting above 300 in this postseason with 2 home runs. Faces a drawn in infield here with a man at third and 1 out.
See if Bregman turns aggressive. Normally not aggressive on the first pitch. Ooh, he was ready to hit, so good pitch choice. Look, Bregman not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, not afraid to take the strikes he doesn't want to hit, and he doesn't expand the zone. So a tough task here for Nola when you're facing that kind of discipline at the plate.
Alex Bregman, one of 3 guys since he became an everyday player in 2017 with more walks than strikeouts. Disciplined again, and he's ahead 2-0.
It's so frustrating, too, if you're a pitcher, because okay, the easiest pitch to make is when you have an aggressive hitter. Then you don't have to throw strikes. But if you've got a disciplined hitter right here, you have to stay sturdy on one side of the plate. You can't make a mistake middle in. Or again, he's going to pull the ball down the line with some power.
He's a rare guy that combines that discipline with the pop. That's a strike, and it's 2-1. A lot of times you get those high average guys that are just going to slap it when you throw them a strike. But then there are those small handful of guys like Alex Bregman where he ain't chasing. So you got to throw him a strike. But if you do, could be one of those. Could be a bomb.
You're more apt to get him to swing above the zone than you are below the zone. That's what makes him special. Below the zone, he doesn't swing and miss a lot. And that's the go-to pitch for every pitcher, is you want below the zone for the most part.
Postseason home runs in Bregman's career. On this 2-1, he takes ball 3. Astros trying to take advantage of the leadoff double from Pena. He's at third with 1 out. 3-1.
Ball 4.
Ball 4. Second walk issued by Nola. First and third for the Astros, and tonight's telecast is sponsored by Fast, Secure, and Reliable Xfinity Internet. And by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. Two in the bank for the Astros in the second inning, and this is the guy that got him on the board. Kyle Tucker with his second home run of the postseason. For more on Tucker, we go down to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, how about that sweet swing on the home run? It's so sweet. When he was in the minor leagues, his nickname was Ted, for Ted Williams. PBS was doing a documentary. They needed a hitter to do stand-in swings in the batting cage. They picked tall, lean Kyle Tucker. And he just did something Ted Williams never did. Hit a home run in the World Series.
He's got a chance to drive in more here. A check swing foul.
That's what I would think Nola's got to do in this at bat. Challenge him with fastballs and get him up, because he threw a changeup right here that's just cut and laid right in the middle of the strike zone. But with fastballs, he's got a chance to beat him to the barrel, even though he's one of the best with runners in scoring position in his success.
At just 141 against high fastballs this year. He's got Pena at third, Bregman at first. On this 0-1 pitch, Kyle Tucker watches strike two.
Yeah, perfectly placed. It's interesting. I mean, Nola can get it up there, but that's not the area he wants to. He's comfortable with two-seam movement, good changeup. We've seen the breaking balls, but so far in this at bat, he's been aggressive with the fastball, getting to an 0-2 count, which Verlander seems to do on every hitter so far in this game.
They're looking for that strikeout again with a man at third and one out. Here's his 0-2. Ball one. Nola was able to get the double play last inning, limit the damage to 2. This is where he's been at his best this postseason. The league hitting below 150 with runners on base. His 1-2 in the dirt for ball 2.
Top third of the strike zone. Everything, so if everything's a quadrant, the top 3 is 1, 2, 3, and then you keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are 9 boxes in the strike zone. 1, 2, 3. The top is where he has struggled average-wise. The middle, forget about it. You don't want to live there because he's dominated.
See what he gets on this 2-2. 2 runners aboard here in the third. Nola throws, and Tucker breaks his bat on a flare down the line. Foul. And got sawed right off.
Tell you what, Nola, I don't even think saw this bat go by him. He was looking at the foul ball, and this thing went back through the mound. You rarely see that. You get a fastball, ties him up, and then the barrel of the bat just keeps going. And I don't think Nola saw it at all. Or if he did, he played it off, because he was looking at that foul ball to see if he was going to get somebody to catch it.
That thing snapped right in half like a stick.
Yeah, he's not even looking. That would have been dangerous right there.
So a new piece of lumber for Kyle Tucker. Double from Pena. He's at third. Bregman walked. Kyle Tucker got the Astros on the board with a homer. On this 2-2, takes ball 3, and he's worked it full.
You know, pitchers are creatures of habit, but they also have memories, and he took that changeup for a home run and almost looks like he's taken it out of his repertoire, right? The ability to make that pitch, you got to go right back to it if you're going to make that pitch against a guy who hits a home run. Usually when they hit a home run on a fastball, very next at bat, you go, I ain't afraid, here's a fastball to show it. But he hasn't thrown that changeup, and he got to 0-2, now 3-2. And really didn't go back upstairs with that fastball other than the one that he broke the bat on.
The payoff. High drive right center field. Castellanos back at the wall. Kyle Tucker owning game 1.
at-bat for me was set up by the 2 breaking balls that he took. And then it looked like he could sit on a fastball after getting jammed, and he sat on it. And he no more important detail for the Houston Astros to actually get out in front in this game. They are favored, kind of the pressure on them. And they just set a statement so far that, all right, we haven't lost. We're going to start out. We're going to flex our muscles and see how Philly responds, because Philly has responded every chance they have been given in this postseason. That's why they're here.
Game 1 of the World Series goes on to win most of the time. 22 of the last 27 Game 1 winners have won the whole thing. Grounded to short. Stott circles around it. And that's that for the Astros in the 3rd. Back-to-back innings, though, with Kyle Tucker going deep. This time a 3-run shot. And it's all Astros in Game 1.
I got the poles in both of them.
Couple home runs for Kyle Tucker and a 5-0 lead for the Astros as we go to the 4th inning. They got 5 runs from the offense. They've gotten 3 perfect innings from Justin Verlander. Phillies set to get their second look at him. That is ball 1 on Kyle Schwarber. The Phillies first time through 4 strikeouts, no base runners. Schwarber was one of those strikeout victims. Saw a lot of pitches, but ultimately took strike 3. Verlander's 1-0. High fastball, cut on a miss.
And if you're the Phillies, you got to strike in this inning, or at least feel like your chances of coming back would be much better if you could use the top of this lineup and find a way to get Justin Verlander in the stretch. And he's gotten the first 9 hitters out.
Boy, he is just in a rocking chair right now.
Yeah, he just does a great job mastering that mound. He's a short step but high release point pitcher, and what that means is you're able to see the ball at a different angle, and it's just an illusion to the hitter. And so what he can do is his stride's going to be shorter than Nola, but it's classic when the arm, see, when the hand goes up, it's like having a string from your elbows to the knees. When the elbows go up, your knees go down, up, and when the elbow go down, your knees go down. And then he delivers that kind of poetry in motion. Classic. I just think lifeless power. He's got power forever. He's 39 years old and he still has power because he knows how to use his body and his mechanics to work for him.
You got the mechanics, the mix, the mentality, really the complete picture of what it should look like. His 1-2 to Kyle Schwarber is a little bit inside, ball 2. Debuted back in 2005. He's in his 17th year in the majors now. Over to the Astros at the deadline in 2017. Won a World Series 2 months later. Broxton fires 2-2. Schwarber sends one in the air to center field. No big deal for Chas McCormick. One away in this 4th inning. Moments ago, Tom Verducci visited with Dusty Baker.
Dusty, we saw you share a laugh with Kyle Tucker. Can you share it with us?
Well, I don't know. We're just talking about some things, and I told him he was going to get hot during this series. And, you know, it's nice to laugh every once in a while during the game. You don't have many opportunities to do that.
How about Justin Verlander? First time through the order, throwing a lot of fastballs. No hit so far.
Well, the thing about him is, you know, he's well locating it. And, you know, nothing's better than a well-located fastball, and that sets up everything else. Because the last couple starts, he wasn't locating his fastball quite as sharp as he is today.
Thanks so much, Dusty.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah, and that's what he does for strike 1 on Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, he's attacking the hitters, and he can do that now with a nice, comfortable 5-run lead. But he isn't thinking about a 5-run lead, I promise you.
Hoskins into center field. He's got the first base hit of the game for the Phillies. comes here in the 4th inning against Justin Verlander. And Rhys Hoskins' hot stretch continues.
I mean, he's pitched long enough, and the players in this game have played long enough. They know the importance of when a team scores. If you can bounce back and get a run or two, it just feels better that you're back in the game. And Justin wants to put up that 0 better than anybody. He knows who's on deck, and he knows how quick this game could change. So,
yeah, the man on deck is Bryce Harper. And JT Realmuto trying to help set the table for him. And so Harper was acquired in March of 2019, but a month before that, the Phillies made the trade for this guy. And just the total package when it comes to a catcher, it completely eliminates the running game. He's in there just about every day, led the majors in innings caught, and he's well-rounded offensively.
well, we talk about rest. I can't think of anybody that probably enjoying the rest more than JT. You talk about all the games he's caught. I mean, at some point, there has to be a give and take, right? It may not be defensively, it might be offensively, but he has been able to be kind of a bulldog. And to your point, when they got him, that was a game changer for Philadelphia. Of course, Harper, you know you're going to have him for 13 years, but this was a huge move for Philly.
Traded for him and then extended him. And his 4th year with the Phillies now. He reaches out. That's back to Verlander. Knocks it down. His only play is at first. Into scoring position goes Hoskins.
Well, with Bryce Harper coming up, what you're going to see is typically not the norm, but what he's adjusted to in the postseason is, okay, you want to pitch me away? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get one in a zone, and I'm going to make you pay for it. And that's what he's been able to do. 9 hits, 3 of them homers to the opposite field. So that has changed the scouting report. If your biggest swing of his career so far, right there on a pitch that caught too much plate, and that's what Justin Verlander and the entire Astros pitching staff is aware of. And they're going to look for things to see if A, is Harper changing? B, we don't want to be in a position to make that outer part of the plate and that short left field come into play for Bryce Harper.
Justin Verlander, first matchup, threw 3 fastballs by him. Got 3 swings and misses. Fastball here is fouled back.
But do you see how easy it is for Justin to get to that ball up in the zone? Not every pitcher has that luxury of being able to pitch top of the zone, but it's easy. It's not forced. He actually enjoys the upper third of that zone because of his release point. And that right there, for most pitchers, is harder to do based on their style of pitching.
This guy goes there more than any pitcher in the league. Justin Verlander, home with an 0-1. Harper rips it on a line to right. Base hit in front of Tucker. Took a funny bounce. They stop Hoskins. They stop Hoskins, and it stays 5-0. So Bryce Harper with a base hit. Dusty Wathan, the third base coach, put the stop sign on.
Wow, that is hard. That is a hard hit ball to not score Hoskins. When you look at how deep Tucker is, this is a slider, okay, and we talked about his ability to hit breaking pitches. He laces this, and Tucker actually had to back up, and Hoskins probably thought that was going to be an easy score. And not only was it not easy, Harper's like, I cannot believe with 2 outs that we didn't score that run right there. Just remember that moment, and if it comes back against Philadelphia.
And Castellanos with a chance here to bail him out, make it a moot point. Castellanos popped out his first time.
And the reason I say that is it's a feel-good moment that doesn't feel as good until that runner touches home plate. Now, they still might here with Nick Castellanos getting a big 2-out hit, but you could see the reaction of Harper of, oh my gosh, that ball was hit deep enough that should have scored.
First 2 base runners of the game for the Phillies coming here in the 4th. Castellanos has been searching for big moments in a Phillies uniform. Here in his first year with the team. Chance to provide one here. Down the line, fading into foul ground, and his souvenir quickly strike 2.
So you see where the barrel of the bat is on the high fastballs. It almost looks like he's underneath it, right? He's trying to get to those fastballs up, but he's getting underneath it, and we've seen pop-ups out of that pitch. So what would be, as a pitcher, if you're nervous about anything down, he'll be able to hit that ball. Up doesn't look like it, but down in the middle of the zone or outside, even reaching, he'll get to that ball and conserve it to right field if the height of it is not where Justin's been putting it.
First threat for the Phillies. 0-2 from Verlander. Check swing and a breaker. And no swing. Ball one. Castellanos, one of the most aggressive guys in baseball. And that pitch was not too far away from where he's willing to go.
Yeah, they've been trying, Kevin Long, and I'm sure the Phillies have been trying to get the timing of his foot down. He's been jumpy and attacking the baseball. Not a good recipe if you're not on time, especially with the spin that Verlander can throw at you.
Digs it out into left, base hit. Nick Castellanos goes down to that soft stuff and hooks a base hit into left field. Third hit of the inning, and the Phillies are on the board. It's 5-1.
That's exactly what I was talking about. The ball down, looks like he can get to it, the plane of his bat, and that's what he did. See how the ball was down and didn't get off the plate? That swing, who knows what gets a hitter going, but the pitch up, he had no chance on it, and he got a chance to hit a breaking ball and get that point on the board. Very important for the Phillies.
That's one it feels like they had to have, and they get it. The base hit from Castellanos. First and second with 2 gone for Alec Bohm. So from one key hitter for the Phillies to another.
Yeah, and look for a fastball. He wants to hit a fastball out over the plate.
Got a breaking ball, banged it down the line, and the Phillies finding it offensively here in the fourth. Harper's in to score. Castellanos headed home. He'll score, and a 2-run double from Bohm. Philadelphia back in the game. It's 5-3.
Well, they did it against San Diego. After San Diego scored 4 runs in the top of the first, they came back with 3, were in that game, and they ended up winning that game. There's something special about Philadelphia, and they're feeling that they can kind of outslug teams if they need to. And 2 consecutive pitches in the area that Justin Verlander did not want them. And I mean, those are back-breaking 2-out hits. The good news is you were up when that happened, but now the game is tight again.
Yeah, this is something the Phillies have been doing throughout the postseason. Big innings. And the reaction back in Philadelphia at the watch party. First chance for them to get pumped up about something. 5-3 game. Runner at second for Bryson Stott. He takes a ball. Now the Phillies, prior to this stretch here, John, were 0 for 14 against Justin Verlander's breaking stuff this year. All 3 hits have come on breaking pitches.
Yeah, in middle of the plate, too. The last one, the first one he gave up to hit to Castellanos was down. You know, that wasn't a horrible pitch, but just the swing plane of Nick allowed him to get to that ball.
Turned it up a little bit there. 97 for strike 1.
But I'm telling you, the whole life of that would have got sucked out of the Phillies if they hadn't punched a run across because of the top of the lineup and because they had looked like they were going to get one with 2 outs. Huge couple hits from Nick and Alec. I'm telling you, they're key in this World Series. For the Phillies to win, they've got to get that kind of production out of them behind Harper.
Stop. Watches strike 2. Fastball to the outside corner. 97 again from Verlander.
Well, these are the gears I was talking about. He has 97, 98 whenever he wants it.
Perfect first time through the order. Got the leadoff man in this 4th inning, but 3 of the last 4 have come up with base hits. And 4 of the last 5. On a 1-2 pitch. Stott takes ball 2. Bryson Stott has 6 hits in this postseason. 5 of them have come with 2 strikes. Early on this year, a lot of swing and miss. In fact, over his first month in the majors, he missed on a 1/3 of his swings. The last couple months, he misses just once on every 10 swings. Facing the game's best here. 2-2 from Verlander. And he stays alive, going up letter high to get that fastball.
Well, I mean, we've already seen some tough pitch selections against Stott because he fouled off 3, 4, 5 fastballs in a row, and you're like, I got to change it. I got to throw spin. Boom, big hits. He's showing you that his ability to get with 2 strikes to that pitch is enough to alter the pitch selection sometimes if you're not careful and you're not reading those swings. He's really not on them. He's just looking to get that pitch down so that he can get on it.
Kind of backwards, right? He's spoiling fastballs, waiting for something else. That's where he's delivered. He's got Bohm at second and 2 gone. On this 2-2, it's another fastball and another foul ball. Bryson Stott, who just turned 25 years of age. First-round pick in 2019, a guy they think has a chance to maybe win a batting title one day.
And I could see it now more than I would about 3-4 months ago, and his adjustment has been good. Look, down and in breaking ball, sweet spot to a lefty. That's what you always want to avoid. You want to either back foot it or backdoor it, because his swing in the inner third is good.
And the beat goes on. Another foul ball. Bryson Stott, one of his best games came in this ballpark. The clinching game on October 3rd. Stott went 3 for 3. Had a home run, had a double. He's fulfilling the promise the Phillies saw in him when they drafted him in the first round. On the 8th pitch from Verlander, it's the first breaking ball, and he fouls that too, and in some pain.
But you see how all over he was with that pitch after seeing so many fastballs. He had a great swing on a very good curveball. This ball is almost to the point where you want it, and he fouls it off his inside of his foot. Justin's going to throw another one of those. It has to bounce. And if he can bounce it just on the backside of the plate, he will go after that pitch, in my mind, based on the way that he attacked that breaking ball after fouling off enough fastballs.
That fouled off 3 heaters in a row. Now fouls off that breaker. 4 hits in this 4th inning for the Phillies. 3 runs in. They're back in the game at 5-3. Stott continues to battle. Another 2-2. It's a breaker that bounces, and he lays off.
Oh, he did a good job there. That one bounced maybe closer to the front of the plate than the back of the plate. And this has been what he does. Yeah, that one bounced in front. If it carries the plate in the back, he's more apt to swing at it.
Better and better throughout this year. He's done it against the best pitchers. He's the only guy that's ever reached 4 times in a game against Scherzer. This is the 10th pitch from Justin Verlander. 3-2. Takes ball 4. As impressive of a walk as you'll ever find. Drawn by the rookie Bryson Stott. That is something. First one of the game issued by Verlander, and the tying run is aboard for Gene Segura. And a quick word from Capital One.
Capital One is the official bank and credit card partner of Major League Baseball. What's in your wallet?
Now before Segura bats, I want to remind you to start Saturday strong with a monster Big Noon Saturday matchup. Heisman candidate C.J. Stroud leads Ohio State into their biggest test of the year so far. 13th ranked Penn State waiting for the Buckeyes. All started at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Big Noon kickoff crew live from Happy Valley, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Here's a guy in Gene Segura ready to face Verlander, who they've started to call Clutch Gene. He's always been a good clutch hitter, but he's doing it on the biggest stage for the first time.
And I'll tell you what, this inning has not only been damaging to the Astros, but to Verlander. His pitch count went way up.
Ball. Outside, ball 1.
And now having to work really hard to reset that moment where the 5-run lead now turns into a 2-run lead and get your offense back out there. But that's given Nola an opportunity to reset and the Phillies to reset. In this inning, he's going to be his 30th pitch.
It's a strike. Gene Segura, first game of these playoffs. Had a game-winning hit, part of a 6-run 9th inning for the Phillies. Remember back to the very first game in the 3-game series against the Cardinals. They didn't score over the first 8. They had those 6 runs in the 9th. And Segura was right in the middle of that. Had another game-winning hit, game 3 of the championship series. On this 1-1, it's popped up to second, and Jose Altuve. But the Phillies get back in the game. A game-changing inning. They hope maybe a series-changing inning. And It all came with 2 gone. Castellanos put it in play. Bohm with a big swing, a 2-run double, and a brand new game here in Houston. 3 runs in the 4th inning. It's 5-3 to the bottom of the 4th. And the mood changes for this man, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Aaron Nola, Chas McCormick, ball 1.
And really what he's got to get back to the basics and reestablish his breaking pitches. When on the year, nobody throws about as many strikes with his curveball, about 75%, and early on it's about 50 or below. So get back in the command with that pitch, and he'll pitch a couple more innings.
Ball. 2-0 on McCormick. But a base hit his first time, one of the 6 for the Astros through 3 against Nola.
See, when Nolan's right, 2-0 count doesn't matter. You flip a 2-0 breaking ball in for a strike. When you're behind 2-0 in a regular season, most times you're going to throw a fastball. And he threw one there, but he has the capability to get back in the count when he's behind with a breaking ball and his off speed, because that's what makes him special.
When he's right, rarely does he have a 2-0 count.
Yeah.
Number 1 strikeout to walk ratio in baseball this year. And back to when he first started pitching when he was 10 years old, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's always been his thing. He's always had better command than anybody. That's a well-located breaking ball to get a chase, and it's 2-2.
Well, when you've been in these kind of games, and you know as a pitcher, I now have to approach. My 4th inning is my 9th inning. My 5th inning is my 9th inning. And every inning that he's in is his 9th inning, because he can't really afford at this point to add on for Houston. He's got to keep his team right there. So every pitch, every detail becomes a longer game for Nola.
2-2. Got him. Aaron Nola strikes out Chas McCormick for the first out of the 4th. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Chevrolet. Electric vehicles for everyone, everywhere. And by Indeed, we help people get jobs. 1 gone in this 4th inning. One of the big swings in this game came from an unlikely guy. The 9-hitter Martin Maldonado had an RBI single in the 2nd.
Yeah, when you go position for position against these 2 teams, Houston might have the nod in a lot of them, but not at catcher. Offensively, that's where the mismatch happens. That's why if Maldonado or Vasquez can contribute at the bottom of the lineup, that is such a bonus for the Houston offense.
It's been Tucker tonight, who had been struggling. He was 6 for 28 in the postseason, just 1 batted in coming in, and it's been Maldonado.
Ball no.
Lays off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wow.
To a pitcher, and still to me in the booth, you should. I look back and laugh at myself. I'm like, he went.
Yeah, right.
Check.
Ask me. Check with me.
A lot of movement, but the barrel did stay back. It always looks different straight on.
Sure
That's why
does.
you got to have the first base umpire and the third base umpire be on alert for those calls, which is a tough one, by the way.
Because even then, it's not in the rule book. There isn't a description on what a check swing is.
I think it's the toughest call that an umpire has to make based on the way and the view that they're looking and making a decision. Did he try to hit the ball? Was he attempting to hit the ball? Or was he getting out of the way and check swinging?
Ground ball to short. Stout was positioned well. Maldonado's out number 2. But this umpiring crew that we're talking about, this how it lines up in the first game. James Hoy, 15-year veteran, his 2nd World Series. Dan Iasonia is the crew chief. He's at first base. For Tripp Gibson and Jordan Baker, their 1st World Series. And for Lance Barksdale and Alan Porter, their 2nd. So World Series, big stage for these guys, too.
Yeah, good for them, too, to get that experience and work their way into this position. And I got to say, throughout the postseason, the umpires have really done a pretty darn good job. We haven't talked any game about anything, and you know that's the last thing they want to have the game end or be decided on a call.
Altuve takes a strike. Wow. Come on, you jinxed it, John. Umpires have been perfect, and then James Hoy goes a foot off the plate.
He was just telling Altuve he likes swinging at that anyway.
That's right. Yeah, you had a big zone anyways. Got the call there, too, and if you're Nola and you get the call out there, why not go right back there?
Absolutely.
And he's got a chance at his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. After the Phillies get him 3 runs, the old classic shutdown inning he's looking for. Home with an 0-2. Fly ball left center field. Schwarber into the gap. He's got it. And Nola does go 1-2-3. Kyle Schwarber is due up second in the 5th World Series on Fox is presented by Capital One. Astros with 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd. Phillies with 3 in the 4th. In a 5-3 game as Brandon Marsh leads off and takes ball 1 from Justin Verlander. 9-1-2 for the Phillies. After Marsh, it'll be Schwarber and Hoskins. And the Phillies, one time through against Justin Verlander, didn't have a base runner, and they found it. 5 of them last inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, 2 very different pitchers, and you're looking at these 2 guys, both very effective, but much different looks from these 2 right-handers, and the numbers for them through 4.
Yeah, Justin, a little bit the last inning got away from his mechanics, falling off a little more towards first base. He's a north and south, goes downhill with that high release. He's just spinning out of his mechanics a couple times.
Marsh down the left field line. That's a fair ball, and it ricochets in front of Alvarez. Marsh pushes it on his way to second. He's got a leadoff double. And both 9 hitters contributed in game 1.
Well, the pitch got in, and the ball down with the fastball gives Marsh a chance to get to it. And he just inside outs it. And knows right away that he's got a great chance to get to second base.
Now, Brandon Marsh went into this at bat 0 for his last 14 with 8 strikeouts, including his first time against Verlander. But he doubles down the line, and the Phillies have the tying run up there. The form of the home run champ, Schwarber. A curve for ball 1. Kyle Schwarber's 0 for 2 today. And the Phillies are hoping that another few days off, like he had going into the championship series, pays dividends here in the World Series. Kyle's been dealing with a sore right knee. Hurt on a slide on October 1st. He's been playing through that. So anytime they can get him a couple days off, they like it. And you see why. He looks like a different guy. He looks refreshed when he comes back from a few days off.
And just notice right there again, a curveball that Verlander throws, he stays quiet to the plate. Fastball, he's falling off of it, missing location. We saw the first 3 innings, he probably didn't miss location maybe 1 time. The last couple innings has been a little bit more of a struggle for him with that fastball command.
2-0. Schwarber on a curve fouls it off.
See how connected he is to the breaking ball. When you're throwing a breaking ball, you know you have to stay back and get on top of the ball. Fastball, you can get away with more. You can kind of let it go and, you know, let your velocity sometimes take care of the rest. Well, in the postseason against these teams, you got to have that command or they'll make you pay.
2-1. Doubles up on the curve, and it's 2-2.
That ball has no chance from the hitter's point of view to even remotely be a strike, and that's why you give up on it. But he catches the top part of the strike zone on its way down.
There's that breaking stuff that the Phillies started to rally against last inning. 3 straight hits against his breakers. Throws a couple good ones here to get back into the count at 2-2. And then a fastball takes off on him.
Well, see, here it goes again. Now with that fastball, see how he's at the set and he's ready to go, but then he gets a little loose with that front side and he spins off. See how he pulls away, and that ball just gets away from him up, which was easier for him to do at the top of the zone early in the game. So a little bit funky with his fastball command in the last couple innings.
75 pitches deep for Verlander. Here's his 3-2 to Schwarber. That's fouled off. We'll do it again. Kyle Schwarber, who's had so many big moments, so many chances to have those moments throughout his career. He's in his 8th season. It's his 7th trip to the postseason. And his first time in the World Series since that legendary 2016 when he missed the entire year. Came back and had a .500 on base percentage for the Cubs. On another 3-2, he takes ball 4, and the first two have reached for the Phillies in the 5th. For every home run hit this postseason, T-Mobile's donating $5 grand to Team Rubicon's hurricane recovery efforts. And when you text relief to 595959, T-Mobile will donate another $5. So far this postseason, 82 home runs hit. Adds up to $410,000 in donations for hurricane relief.
Well, that's going to get the Astros scurrying in the bullpen. And for Hoskins, he's looking, again, if Hoskins could stay up the middle right side, he's got a chance to hit this breaking ball. If not, he's going to pull it to the left side for possible ground ball.
It is a breaker, and it's hit foul.
And see, I know it's easier said than done, and he's disappointed in himself missing that pitch. You don't ever think you're going to get that ball right there. But if you're pull happy and you're really trying to do damage in the air to lift the ball, a good breaking ball is going to make you pull over, they say roll over, and hit it to the left side of the infield, where Altuve will have an interesting double play turn because of where he's positioned.
Hoskins got the first hit for the Phillies last inning. He got a fastball here and popped it to center. Shortstop Peña's out for the first out of the 5th.
I mean, that's a huge out if you're Justin Verlander. Again, the style of baseball, you see these numbers when he's been in the game and they give him 5 runs of support. I mean, that's just, you got to believe it's got to be a mistake. I said, no, it's the truth. It's 163 and 2. Now that's when he's in the game, not when he leaves the game and the team scores 5. You could still lose that game.
Brian Abreu's warming. The last time he lost a game like this, where his team got him those 5 runs of support, was 2013. He's won 67 in a row. Tying run aboard. Go ahead run at the plate. JT Realmuto. Hit it hard his last time. Hit it hard both times, but he's 0 for 2.
JT's been pretty patient. Again, you know who's behind you if you're JT. You want to look for a pitch and try to drive it. But here's a situation. I would think if JT was ever going to be aggressive on the first pitch, it would be right here.
Let's see. The Philly catcher was and fouled it back.
He missed that pitch. That was a good fastball, but these are the kind of cat and mouse games you got to, you know, for Justin Verlander, who's used to getting through the lineup 3 times, you save certain things for certain hitters so that when there is runners on, they see it for the first time. You don't just pitch the same way. And now he's challenged with that. Got ahead. See how he goes to attack JT the rest of the at-bat.
Marsh at second. Schwarber at first. 0-1 pitch. Realmuto got a breaking ball. Lifted it to left center field. McCormick and Alvarez on the move, and it's off the wall. Both runners will come in. The Phillies have come all the way back and tied it in the 5th. JT Realmuto with a 2-run double.
You know, we've had the series with Philly all the way through, and JT had really struggled with runners in base, and he just came through with one of the biggest hits of the postseason. Hanging breaking ball. Looks like he's out front, but he's strong enough that he kept his hands back to get to the gap, and the runner reads it incredibly well. Schwarber, even with his bad knee, right away had a great view on that ball, easily scores and ties the game. This Philly team is amazing when you think just might be going the wrong way. Boom, they come right back into the game.
Well, if you haven't watched the Phillies yet this postseason, here you go. This is what they've done. Dig themselves out of a hole, no blink. And now Harper swings and misses at a first pitch fastball. Justin Verlander stays on for Harper. You saw Abreu's warming. Abreu's their best guy at limiting damage against left-handed hitters. Verlander stays in in what is now a tie game. Harper 1 for 2 today on an 0-1. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
Don't even want to get into the probability of them coming back against some of the things that we talked about with Justin Verlander. I mean, it had to be a high number when you think about 5-0 lead. And now, game's starting over.
5-5 in the fifth. Harper lays off the high fastball. Down 5-0, and against this guy, who's probably going to win his third Cy Young this season. Through 3 innings today, they didn't have a base runner. When you combine the 5 innings that he threw against him in early October, he'd thrown 8 no-hit innings against Philly. His 1-2 to Harper is chopped up the middle. Pena's waiting in the shift. 2 out. Realmuto to third.
Well, this does so much for Philadelphia. They get to keep Nola in the game if they want. And they keep the key to their success so far in the postseason. Short series, short bullpens, right? Starters go 6 or 7. They only have to use 2 or 3 guys. And they're comfortable on the road. Let me just tell you. And that might bring in Alvarado now that the game's tied. They are comfortable on the road because that's what they've had to do to get here. Was it 17 days in a row?
Yeah. Castellanos fouls it off. They finished the regular season into the postseason on what became a 17-day road trip. They had that 10-game trip to end the regular season. They got into the postseason and then had to go play the 2 games in St. Louis and started the division series in Atlanta. They got a hero's welcome when they're back in Philadelphia. You saw Jose Alvarado was warming. Brand new game here in the 5th. Castellanos chops one foul, and it's 0-2.
There again, that ball down. Now Justin gave up a hit on that ball down to see if he makes the adjustment to go back up. That looks a little more. I know it's down and out of the zone, but that's where he got that breaking ball hit. Just reached out and got a huge hit.
They're now trying to give the Phillies the lead. Takes a fastball away. Ball 1.
You tell yourself as a pitcher, no matter what the circumstances are, stay back, deliver the pitch. Stay back, deliver the pitch. Sometimes you rush.
One, 2.
He's definitely pitching this like his last inning. The velocity went up on the last 2 pitches. Verlander knows he's nearing the end. Even though he's got 89 pitches, it hasn't been quite as sharp in the last 2 innings.
First-year head pitching coach Josh Miller. Watching his ace here, try to keep it tied at 5. Realmuto's at third with 2 gone. It's taking a while here. Time call. Castellanos said one of the big reasons he signed with the Phillies was a chance to play in some big games. Said, I've hit my home runs, I've made money, but I want to do it in the biggest games. On this 1-2 from Verlander, he's down on a sharp breaker. That finishes the top of the 5th, but how about this? We are halfway home in game 1. The Phillies have taken a 5-0 deficit and evened it up with 5 in a row.
Beach too, little short stride, even though he's a big pitcher at the top of the zone. 6'1" extension, and then look at 6'9" out of Nola. There's a bunch of ways to get it done. Both do it a little differently, and we're in a tight game, but I thought it might be 1-1 and not 5-5.
Yeah. All right, with 2 aces on the mound here in game 1. Tied at 5 to the bottom of the 5th. Nola stays in and misses with his first pitch. The 2-hitter Jeremy Pena. We saw Jose Alvarado warming for the Phillies. Got that run of left-handers coming here with Alvarez next. Broken up by Bregman, but it goes Alvarez, Bregman, and then Tucker. And you figure there's very little chance he faces Tucker, who's homered against him twice.
Yeah, I think the whole scenario might be damage control. Man, it would be tough for me if he gets Pena out, if he goes right to Alvarado. But you know what? Philly has done things a little out of the ordinary, and it's working. So hard to question their success at this point.
Rob Thompson, the magic touch in so many ways, huh? Took over for Joe Girardi after the 22-29 start for these Phillies. They won their first 8 games with him as the manager. They won 14 of 16. First time big league manager. Baseball lifer, getting his first chance. Something that he thought wasn't going to happen, and he had come to terms with that he had lived this great baseball life. Do it a little bit longer, but probably not going to be a big league manager. He gets his chance, and he's just brought this overwhelming sense of calmness and ease and a quiet confidence to his young team. His pitcher Nola's home with a 2-2, and Pena's down on a good changeup. One gone in this 5th inning, and tonight's telecast is sponsored by Verizon, the network America relies on. 15th World Series. The Phillies and the Astros are tied at 5. The Astros got the first 5 runs of the game. 2 homers from Kyle Tucker. The Phillies have rallied to tie it up.
They have. Interesting strategy here with one of your highest leverage guys. And they feel like, I'm sure Rob Thompson feels like this inning is the marquee inning to keep it tied. But with Alvarado and this bullpen, it'd be interesting to see how he plays it in a tie game. You're going to employ all your resources now in this game, in a tie game. You kind of have to win it. And that's what he's trying to do now that he's back in the game.
They got to get one of these two, they know, in Houston to feel good about their chances going back to Philadelphia. And going forward here in the first game. One away for Yordan Alvarez. Walked his first time, then grounded out. Jose Alvarado, who's thrown more pitches of 99 miles per hour than anybody this postseason. Double the next guy on the list. 99, a little bit low.
Well, 99 and the sinker that he has low in the zone is actually a strength to Alvarez. So Alvarado's going to want to use that cutter, which nobody seems to be able to put in play or hit for any kind of average on the year.
Alvarez pops it up. It's Alec Bohm, the third baseman. Lone man on the left side. He drifts back and makes the catch. And we go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, guys, it might have seemed like a quick hook in some regards, but this is the way Rob Thompson has managed the entire postseason. Go back to Game 3 of the NLCS. Remember? Ranger Suarez, pitched 5 innings, 68 pitches. He pulled him, went to his bullpen for 4 innings. This is what he's trying to do here. It's the same thinking, the same urgency that he's displaying.
And it's worked. The Phillies sweeping the Cardinals in the wild card round, beating the defending champion Braves in the division series, and then the Padres in that thrilling championship series. Alex Bregman takes strike 1 and 101. He's just easing in with those first couple at 99. And there's Sir Anthony Dominguez. You know, the script for the Phillies may be similar to what it was for the Nationals in 2019, where it was kind of that inner circle of pitchers that Davey Martinez went to help them pull that upset over these Astros. Clear advantage for Houston is the depth in the pitching staff. The Phillies don't have that. They might be able to match up with their top few guys. And the hope for Rob Thompson and the Phils may be to just use those guys.
Well, he's putting a lot of confidence in his offense that they're going to score some more, because you're bringing in your highest leverage guys to keep the game tied on the road. And time will tell if he's got that confidence and they squeeze a run or two across, because what the Astros have in the bullpen too is some pretty heavy thunder, and it's deep, 5, 6 deep. Whereas Rob would love to stay 3, maybe 4 relievers if he could throughout this series.
The 1-2 pitch. Bregman down swinging on that pitch that has changed Jose Alvarado's year, the cutter. And he gets the 2 men that he faces. Through with 5, tied at 5.
tonight.
Normally you get the starter out of the game and you're like, all right, good, we get into that bullpen. That is not the case here. The Astros bullpen has given up 3 runs in 33 innings this postseason. And Brian Abreu comes home to Alec Bohm.
Oh, no. Let it go.
That's a check swing, no swing, ball one. And it doesn't matter who they bring in, John. These guys are getting zeros put up.
They're nasty. And you look, it's a battle of the bullpens. You got to give the advantage to Houston. But we'll see how this game goes. And they have some power and spin and the ability to mix and match. No more evident than an 18-inning 0-0 game against Seattle, which they won.
Bohm into right field, right at Tucker for the first out of the 6th. During the regular season, they had a major league best 2.80 ERA. Part of it is that they threw fewer innings than anybody. The starters went so deep, and so less exposure for this pen. They don't have, or they haven't had any lefties. They're going to carry one lefty in this World Series in Will Smith with the big left-handed hitters the Phillies have. But even the righties get lefties out. And they've taken it to a new level in this postseason, giving up just the 3 runs on 3 solo home runs. That's been the only way to get to the pen.
Well, and this guy since July has been almost unhittable. 2 earned runs in 34 and 2/3 inning. That's pretty filthy, and that is on a roll. Look, when you're a team that gets to this level, you want to flex your strengths, hide your weaknesses, right? This is a strength that they want to flex. Now, if Philly can cause a dent in one of their strengths, that becomes a confidence for Philly that says we can match you only for so long out of our pen with our 3 or 4 high leverage guys.
Because that's been key for Rob Thompson, is that he hasn't had to manage a long series yet. 2 games in the wild card, then 4, then 5. That's a strike, and it's 1-2 on stop.
This guy is just, he throws fastball less than 50% and breaks out his slider, curveball. Really doesn't have a changeup much that he will show. It's primarily those 3 pitches.
Here's his 1-2. Stop. Watches strike 3. Pinpoint at 99. Moments ago, Ken Rosenthal spoke with Rob Thompson.
Rob, why go to Alvarado in that spot? What you're thinking?
I just think that we got the momentum back. We're scoring, the 3 and the 2, and got it tied. And I didn't want them to do anything right there. So he's our best guy on those left-handers in that spot. So that's why I went there.
You've had some memorable innings this postseason. The 4th inning, you're down 5-0 to Justin Verlander with 2 outs. What made this one so special?
Just grinding out of bats. These guys never give up. I've said it all year long. They're really resilient. They never give up. They're fighting constantly.
Rob, thank you.
Thanks, man.
And the move worked for that 5th inning. Alvarado got the 2 guys that he faced. Abreu's coming out firing. He's ahead of Segura 0-1. He's ahead 0-2. And my Lord.
Yeah, it almost looks unfair right now. Well, 2 things that statement said to me is, A, I trust my starter tomorrow, Wheeler, to cover whatever innings I may lose tonight, that if I can win that game and use all those resources, I got a stud on the mound tomorrow. And 2, to his point, he thinks he's going to find a way to scratch off a run here or there and keep that leverage going.
Bada bing, bada boom. Bunch of heat from Abreu. Blows him by. 1-2-3 in this 6th inning. But the man of the moment tonight, Kyle Tucker's got 2 home runs. Jose Alvarado got the last 2 outs of the 5th inning. Here he is for Kyle Tucker in a tie game in the 6th. Game 1 of the World Series between the Astros and the Phillies. Kyle Tucker tonight, 2 home runs, knocking in 4 the 5 for Houston. Lefty-lefty matchup. And a first pitch swing. Schwarber started back, comes on. Kyle Schwarber's there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I think that could be it for Alvarado with Eflin in the bullpen, and that is.
All right, so Zach Eflin, another one of those inner circle guys we were talking about, will be the next one in. Right-handed batting Yuli Gurriel coming up.
Has not had a great first pitch average, only hit 278, but I think he likes that 2-seamer over the 4-seamer, and that's that heavy sinker that Eflin throws.
Here we go. First pitch. Gurriel takes outside, ball 1. Zach Eflin gave up 3 runs in Game 1 of the division series. He's got a 1.69 ERA otherwise. And this is somebody who's helped solidify that bullpen. The one-time starter. In fact, his entire career's been as a starter. But that career's been undermined by knee issues. Multiple surgeries. IL again this year. And when he came back this year, they said, we don't have enough time to build you up for the rotation. Let's see what it looks like out of the pen. And they've liked what they've gotten. This is put in play. It's not an easy play. And Gurriel's aboard. Couple of instances tonight of the Astros putting the ball in play and taking advantage.
First of all, it's an incredible effort by Eflin just to get to the ball and make the bare hand and throw. His foot slipped just a little bit when he made that throw. But this is another one of those hits for the Astros. Perfectly placed. Again, he gets it, slips just a little bit on the back end. One of the hardest plays a pitcher, no matter how many times you practice it in spring training. Boy, it happens in a World Series, and you never know.
And hey, who says 38's old baseball? Look at Yuli Gurriel with an infield hit. So the go-ahead run is aboard for the Astros. Their first base runner since Tucker's home run in the 3rd inning. And Trey Mancini to the plate. Kenny detailed his story earlier tonight. Cancer survivor. Didn't know if he'd ever get back to play baseball again, let alone find himself in the World Series 2 years after beating cancer. 5-5 in the 6th inning of Game 1 as Mancini takes ball 1.
Well, as important of the top of the strike zone was for Verlander, it's the opposite for Eflin. He wants that ball called down, because if he gets the call down, then he can get hitters to chase that cutter off the plate. That's the pitch he wants, though. Stay there, put pressure on the hitter and the umpire.
Here's his 1-0. Down there but away. Ball 2. Mancini's still looking for his first hit of this postseason at 0 for 14. Gurriel at first, 1 gone. 2-0. Strike 1. Dusty Baker has his team in the World Series again. 25th year as a manager, looking for his first ring as a manager.
Well, on the year, and it's accounts like this, when he's ahead in the count, is where Mancini's done most of his damage. And he's got a 2-1 count. He took that pitch 2-0 for a strike. This would be a better matchup for Mancini, I would think, to be successful.
On 2-1, he lifts it down the right field line. Castellanos coming on. Segura going out. It's Castellanos with a catch. The Phillies fans have seen enough things go sideways defensively where they might hold their breath a little bit longer than other teams' fans. So that's caught by Castellanos. 2 gone in this 6th inning. Chas McCormick, an unlikely hero in the championship series, hit 2 home runs. And he comes up here with a go-ahead run aboard.
Yeah, you saw that one was a sinker. This one was a fastball away that pulled it like a left-handed hitter. His setup is set for that pitch to go that way, and he hit a sinker for the first home run and a heater off of Cole for that second.
Only 2 guys that hit more home runs the other way this year, Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge with that short porch at Yankee Stadium. Chas McCormick takes ball 1.
Well, he's kind of set up, not as tall and as big as Stanton, but he's got that close stance.
How many guys are as tall and big?
No.
Carlos Stanton. Gurriel at first. 2 gone here in the 6th inning. McCormick, who's 1 for 2 today on this 1-0 pitch, takes low ball 2. Eflin continues to fall behind.
Eflin doesn't quite have the secondary pitch of spin that would give McCormick trouble, and McCormick actually likes the ball down. So do you pitch to your strengths or do you pitch to a hitter's weaknesses? At this point in your, of the game, you've got to pitch to your strengths, but stay out of the one area where he can drive the ball and do damage.
On a 2-0, McCormick pokes it foul, and it's 2-1. Chaz is a 21st round draft pick in 2017, signed for just $1,000. When you hear about these exorbitant signing bonuses that guys get, you got $1 grand out of a Division II school, Millersville University in Pennsylvania. So beat the odds to make it to pro ball out of Division II. And made it to the majors, and now starring in the postseason. On this 2-1 pitch, McCormick lays off ball 3.
I know it seems trivial because you don't really care when you're going batter to batter, but if you could get this batter out, it's 9-1-2. But if you don't get this batter out, guaranteed, unless there's a pickoff in the base, that the Astros get to start the next inning top of the order.
Still 3 innings to cover for this bullpen. 3-1 pitch. Fouls it off, and squarely off of Realmuto.
You all right? Stay there a minute.
So you want to be a big league catcher?
Nope.
This is not a lot of fun.
Come out.
Oof, man.
Talking earlier about this guy's ability to play every day as a catcher, the most grueling position. And you can make a pretty strong argument that he was their MVP during the regular season.
Well, especially when Harper went down. I mean, he elevated his game to a place where, intuitively everyone thinks they got to do more. He did more.
Count goes to 3-2 on Chaz McCormick, and so Yuli Gurriel, representing the go-ahead run, gets a head start here. There he goes. Here it comes. McCormick watches ball 4, just miss. Go-ahead run into scoring position.
Well, he got fooled on the pitch, but he got the reward of the call because a good breaking ball just misses inside, it looks like. Good try by JT, but that one did not come back to catch the inside part of the plate. And again, Maldonado could come up huge with 2 outs here. Already got a base hit. Hit a hard ground ball to short.
A couple of times the game has found Maldonado at the plate. 2 on, 2 out, and a tie game in the 6th. The Astros 9-hitter takes ball 1. Well, they say about Maldonado, if you could quantify leadership, he would lead the league. And so the fact that he doesn't do anything offensively normally, they don't care very much about that. He means so much otherwise. If he can chip in offensively, man, oh man. He's already knocked in 1 tonight. He's ahead 2-0 as all these Astros hitters are finding themselves against Zach Eflin.
Normally aggressive. You can see Alvarez saying, slow down, wait for your pitch. He can jump out, want to make things happen as a hitter, and you find yourself swinging at that pitch. Now you can kind of breathe in a coffee can strike zone if he gets you that pitch. Then that's when you let the barrel of the bat go.
Career high 15 home runs this season for Maldonado. On a 2-0 pitch. Chops one to third. Ball with a backhand play. Across the diamond in time. Alec Bohm with a defensive Defensive play of the night. And a tip of the cap from his first baseman, Rhys Hoskins. It stays tied at 5. And back after a word from your local Fox station.
Stats? Just ask Siri, who leads the MLB postseason in RBI.
There's your answers. Thank you, Siri. Harper and Hoskins tied up with 11 apiece. And this game is tied up at 5 apiece to the 7th. Brian Abreu stays in. That's strike 1 in the 9-hitter. Brandon Marsh. Abreu doing something he's yet to do in the postseason. That is pitch more than an inning. Came on for Verlander in the 6th and went 1-2-3 on 9 pitches. It's a guy who a year ago had a 5.75 ERA. Dusty Baker talked about his confidence, and it's always one of those things. What comes first? Can you just trick yourself into the confidence? You got to get those results to have it. Well, I don't know what came first, but a 1.94 ERA and a weapon for Dusty Baker. Abreu got here really quickly. He was 22 years old when he made his debut, straight up from Double-A. That's a fly ball to right center field off of the bat of Marsh, and an easy play for Tucker in the first out of the 7th. All right, so let's look back to that last out of the 6th inning. Alec Bohm, much maligned defensively this year, with a great play.
He's a tall third baseman, lanky, and then certainly knew that he could one-hop it to his first baseman, Maldonado, running. But I'll tell you something. For what the Phillies were not known for, timing is everything. If they can sure up and play some solid D in these 7 games, they don't care what the regular season is like.
Top of the order here, Kyle Schwarber. Walked and scored his last time. 5-5 game, 7th inning. Schwarber takes a strike. Again, only one left-hander down there in the Astros bullpen in Will Smith. But Abreu has been as good as anybody at stopping left-handed hitters. Loves those breaking pitches, and he's not given up a home run on a breaking pitch to a left-hander in his career.
It is sharp and tight, and his front side, when he stays kind of locked in towards home plate, the ball jumps out of his hand. Again, it's the same thing. Every hitter has a timing with their feet and getting it down. The same thing with a pitcher. The difference is that front side, both the hitter and the pitcher, if it leaks at all, it affects the mechanics of their job and what they're trying to do. But this is a big, strong downhill pitcher with electric stuff.
Lands a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. And sticking with that against Schwarber. All 3 of Schwarber's home runs this postseason have come on fastballs. He only has 1 hit against a non-fastball. One-two pitch. 2-2. Kyle Schwarber's given the Phillies exactly what they were hoping when they signed him to that contract in the offseason. He's given them power. 46 home runs. He's given them leadership. Call him the voice of the heartbeat. He certainly brings them postseason experience. Only position player that's played in the World Series for the Phils. That's bounced over the mound. Abreu waits on it, and then it's kicked. Pena couldn't get it, and Schwarber's on. That is some funky spin and bounce to that. And Pena, normally so sure-handed, couldn't get it cleanly.
Well, it changes after it hits the pitcher. Here's the ball back to the pitcher now. He deflects it and totally changes the spin. And when the infielder goes to get this ball, it's not spinning the way he thought. He hits him on the heel. And Schwarber gets rewarded. I put down base hit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that could
right,
have
because you're using the pen still.
Yeah, that could have been it for my scorecard. I got a really impressive streak going. Not that anybody cares. I'm normally not good at keeping score.
Hoskins, you really been great at it this postseason.
No, right now I've been locked in.
Locked in. You better be with a pen. I'm telling you. 1-0 strikes on Hoskins, who had the first Phillies hit. Kind of looked like game one was going to be a runaway for the Astros. They had a 5-0 lead. Justin Verlander was mowing him down. He was perfect through 3 innings. Hoskins, though, got a base hit to become the first base runner in the 4th. He scored 3 times in that inning, and 2 more in the 5th to tie it. Now they've got Hoskins at the plate here. And really, Rhys Hoskins' postseason arc has matched that of his career.
Yeah.
Been some great moments, but there have been some really low moments where he's heard it from Phillies fans, only to respond, only to bounce back and give more big moments. It's a guy who came up early. He was the face of the Phillies very quickly when he arrived in 2017, and over the next few years that meant being the face of disappointment, the face of falling short. It's in his 6th year now. They've got the bigger names in there. He's no longer the face. He's the guy they describe as their heart and soul. On this 1-1 from Abreu, takes ball 2.
Well, I've never seen anybody turn around the moments better than the bottom of the barrel to the top, right? I mean, he's handled everything. You don't know what the insides are like, but outside he's handled everything the best way you can, and then rewarded his fan base with incredible 2 two-run homers after hearing the Bluebirds.
On a 2-1 pitch, Hoskins takes strike 2. That's to consider this. He started the postseason 1 for 19. He had a defensive mistake that led to a loss in Atlanta. The next game, he hits the 3-run home run to ignite things in Philadelphia, only to go back into a slump, strike out 3 times in Game 3 of the championship series. Followed that with 3 home runs over the next 48 hours. On this 2-2 pitch, Hoskins is down swinging. Abreu's 3rd strikeout.
Again, until you've seen a pitch like this, you have no idea the spin and break that comes out of a hand of a guy who throws 97 miles an hour. That's why hitters swing like that. You're sitting at home thinking, anybody, I could do that. I could lay off that pitch. No, you can't. It is just so difficult to make that decision and split under a second.
Looks like a strike forever. Breaks under the zone. 2 gone, and it's Real Muto had that foul tip square off the mast, the bottom of the 6th. Tied this game with a 2-run double in the 5th. Talk about Gene Segura waiting a long time to play in the postseason. Real Muto had the same story. Playoff debut for him after 9 years. Bunch of losing in Miami. Rips and misses. Came to the Phillies. Lost more games than they won over his first 3 years, but finally getting him to the postseason here.
I know he doesn't do it a lot, but he can go to right field with that shift on if he gets the right pitch. It'll be a moot point next year, Joe.
That's right.
There will be no shift.
Shift's going away.
We'll have to talk about it. Hitters didn't make it go away. Velocity was too high. Spin's too great.
Although this here would still be legal. But Altuve on the right side of the diamond. Shorebird first, 2 gone, 1-1 pitch. Ball 2 on Real Muto with Bryce Harper waiting on deck. Abreu's 2-1. There goes Schwarber. Pitches low. Maldonado's throw not in time, and Kyle Schwarber steals his way into scoring position. Got a great jump because Maldonado's got one of the best arms in the sport and had no chance.
And the pitcher didn't even think this was part of the process. He took advantage of the pitcher right there and did get a huge jump. And now JT's got a great count to hit, knowing who's behind him.
And now America just got a free taco. Unlock the Doritos Locos Taco only in the app when you sign up for Taco Bell Rewards.
I believe last year Albies got people a taco. He stole second base.
Legend for that. And now it's Schwarber stealing his way to second. Go ahead run in scoring position in a game the Phillies once trailed 5-0. JT Realmuto takes ball 4. And Bryce Harper again finds himself in the spotlight. So here he comes in a 5-5 game in the 7th, and a quick word from Budweiser.
Hit the Buds is back for the World Series. Every time a team hits the Buds, Budweiser will give fans a chance to win a season's worth of beer. And a now be a chance to win.
Well, the stars align for him and really for all of us on Sunday watching that game, right? The moment and the man that's proven that he's made for that kind of moment. In a sport where you can't guarantee that the best player is going to have the ball in the biggest spot. So that 8th inning at bat really was a gift. And not only for him to go into that spot, but then to actually come through when you all kind of had the sense that he would. That kind of stuff doesn't happen in real life. That's kind of stuff that happens in movies. The star player comes up with a game on the line and delivers.
Well, you could see foot down, power stroke, late in the at-bat. This seems to be happening more and more. We've seen the aggressive swing early. I'm sure we'll see another aggressive swing early, trying to get power in the first swing and then go to work on the pitcher after that.
2 on, 2 out. Tie game in the 7th, and a ball with a fastball.
Trying to go up, miss down.
It's all kind of felt like Bryce Harper's whole life has led up to this. That home run in the championship series, and now Bryce Harper in the World Series. And a superstar in the kind of zone that can win you a postseason series. Doing what Big Papi did for the Red Sox. Doing what Alex did for the Yankees in 2009. More recently what Juan Soto did to carry the Nationals to the upset. 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt for ball 2 on Harper.
And if you're Abreu, you got to be careful. You're emptying the tank here, right? This probably could be your last hitter. And an empty in the tank against a great hitter, if you overthrow and force velocity, you then lose location, and then that's when a hitter can do damage. If it's still natural late life, that gets by the hitter. But if you're getting a little tired or losing a little bit where you feel like you got to throw a little harder, that's when you get in trouble.
2-0 pitch. Harper takes ball 3. And how about Harper? We talk about being so aggressive and so locked in, taking these 3 pitches.
Yeah, not anywhere close to what he wants. He took a good 3-0, but trust me, I think the green light is as big as it's ever been on a hitter, and he knows what to do with it.
The ball looks bigger than it ever has to Bryce Harper. You got to figure at this point. He's got Schwarber at second, Realmuto at first. Won the championship series for the Phillies, now trying to put him in front of the World Series. Takes a strike, and it's 3-1.
The Astros desperately trying to get out of this inning, and the Phillies are trying to continue that magic with 2 outs. Boy, 2-out runs, they are so much a backbreaker at this time of the year.
They've been doing it the whole postseason. 3-1 pitch. Harper takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Back-to-back 2-out walks from Brian Abreu, and Harper passes the baton to Castellanos. Abreu is going to pass his to Hector Neris. Game 1 of the World Series tied up here in the 7th. Now, live pitch by pitch and more in our free app with 150,000 reviews. Download the app today.
This first pitch will tell the story in this inning. Bases loaded, the pressure's on the pitcher. But if the hitter expands the strike zone early, it's either going to be a quick action one way or another. We'll see if Nick Castellanos can stay in the strike zone or if he expands it first pitch against Neris.
Against the longtime Philly, Hector Neris. Bases loaded and a tie game in the 7th. Most aggressive guy in the business. Nick Castellanos at the plate. And he takes ball 1.
It's a better sign for Nick in the way that he's approached this game, the time off, the work, everything about it. Neris has got that splitter for an out pitch. Tough to get any hits off of that pitch when he's using it. 45 strikeouts on that pitch.
Bases loaded for the Phillies. Nick Castellanos 1 for 3 with an RBI tonight on a 1-0. He swings and misses. Couldn't lay off the same pitch.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing about a hitter like this. He's dangerous if he gets the hit early, but he also brings the pitcher back in the fold. Bases loaded is a pressure-packed scenario for a pitcher, but if the hitter is aggressive, it then lessens that stress on a pitcher to throw strikes. Same pitch. Got a ball on a take and then a swing and a miss to even the count.
But the emotions for Hector Neris, who so badly wanted to play for a postseason team. He says that's why he chose the Astros in free agency. And his first time in the World Series comes against the team that he spent his first 8 years with. In the fire here in the 7th. His 1-1 pitch is grounded foul, and it's 1-2.
Well, he has set his sights down on the fastball. Does he bring that split? If the split comes out in the same height of that fastball, almost impossible for Nick to stay off of it.
One-two pitch. Wow, he does lay off. So we've been watching the Phillies for the last 3 rounds. That might be the most impressive take we've seen from him yet.
Yeah, you know, timing looks a little bit better. He did try to go after that pitch, but was able to hold up. There's the splitter, and that pitch starts out almost at the height of the fastball, but then, of course, you see dives down.
He's looking more and more locked in. Good time for it. Bases loaded, tied up in game 1. 2-2 pitch. Castellanos chases this time. Neris gets out of it. It's been like 2 games in 1. It was all Astros up 5-0 after 3, but the Phillies have tied it, and here we are to the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 1 of the World Series is 5-5, and we got a great finish coming.
You know, I was so intrigued about this series just from the drastic differences between the team. I thought it was going to be closely contested. I thought it'd be 2-1, but it's 5-5. It's going to be one of those series where, again, each team has strengths. Who exercises it, who flexes it early is going to take home the championship.
Well, when you look at this game, had you been told that the starters would be out early, each team has strengths. This is one that, on paper, favors the Astros.
Yeah, absolutely. The depth favors the Astros. And what the Phillies are trying to do is, again, steal a game on the road, which they've done every series, and then play flawless at home. They're undefeated at home.
Now, Johnny, Zach Eflin's going to stay in the game here. He's not been sharp. He better find it in a hurry. Top of the order for the Astros. Altuve chops it foul. It has continued for Jose Altuve. 0 for 3 tonight and 3 for 35. An unthinkable 3 for 35 in the postseason. You know, though, a guy like this, that could all change snap of a finger. Sharply hit, right at stop. One gone in the 7th, then down to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, and Joe, when this inning began, Ranger Suarez got up in the bullpen for Rob Thompson. Every one of these games, the pivot point for Rob Thompson will be the runway of left-handed hitters, Alvarez and Tucker. That's why he went to Alvarado in the 5th inning. It's also because he knows he has Suarez tonight. Suarez is the likely Game 3 starter, so he's less likely to use him in Game 2 and bring him back for Game 3. This is the night to use Suarez. He knew that when he went to Alvarez, and I believe the 5th inning of a tied World Series game is a high leverage spot for Alvarado.
That's strike one on Pena. So Alvarado retires all 3 hitters that he faces. Then Eflin comes in, and with a short start from Nola, you need somebody to give you a little bit of length, semblance of length. Eflin's attempting to do that. And then he got that wild card down there in Suarez, getting ready for those lefties. All trying to get it to Dominguez at the back end. Jeremy Pena. And an 0-1 pitch. Punches it to first. Hoskins has it. 2 up and 2 down for Eflin. And now the first of those left-handed hitters, Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, he's looking over there to see if Rob Thompson is in fact coming, and he is. And that means Ranger Suarez is. Came on to finish off the championship series. Came on in a tough spot. He needed 2 pitches to get 2 outs to send the Phillies to the World Series. And in Game 1, he's coming in out of the bullpen. 5-5 in the 7th. Suarez, who finished off the championship series clincher. Now, the last time that he pitched in this ballpark, it did not go well. His last outing of the regular season, October 4th, he gave up 3 home runs in what was the worst start of his career.
Well, this young man, what I've come to learn, yeah, he was a reliever before. He's been a starter this year for Philly and really locked down that role. He's got a heartbeat that you don't see, and that's a great formula for him to come in that last game and get 2 pitches, 2 outs, send the team to the World Series. This moment's not too big for him, but the big man at the plate, he has done some damage off of left-handed breaking balls. In the last 2 years, 11 home runs off that pitch.
He's the #1 left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching in baseball this year. And he takes ball 1 from Suarez. It's kind of like darned if you do, darned if you don't. You don't like the idea of a righty facing him, but he crushes lefties too.
There's his numbers against Suarez, 2 for 2.
Bob Thompson managing aggressively again. Suarez in the game, tied at 5 in the 7th, is 1-0. In there for a strike.
We've talked about, if you follow the National League playoffs postseason, this man Suarez is smooth customer, great defender, and mechanics look at times flawless for him to deliver his 3-pitch mix.
It's a lot to ask of a guy.
It is, especially when you know you're going to start again. Now, I get it. Now, if he was extended for any reason, they could push him back to Game 4. Game 3 or Game 4 is going to have some days off, and they could put Syndergaard into Game 3. But this is a role that he feels he can accomplish and still make his start.
That's a strike, and it's 2-2.
But the one thing about this, don't buy into this side day. I hear that all the time. Well, it's a side day for the pitcher. No, a side day has no adrenaline, has no velocity connected to getting out. So it's still a function of getting in the game, getting warmed up, and having your heartbeat going. Can you make your start in 2-3 days? Yeah, no problem. But it's not the same as just having a side day.
His 2-2 pitch is inside for ball 3, and it's back to that comparison with the 2019 Nationals. Patrick Corbin did this. Started a game, came out of the bullpen twice. So as somebody they're clearly going to lean on here. Pointed to his hat there as if to say, went through that pitch comm again. Couldn't hear it. Receiver in his hat. 3-2 to Alvarez. Got him swinging. Ranger Suarez comes on and strikes out Yordan Alvarez. After 7 innings in Game 1, the Phillies and the Astros deadlocked at 5. Both starters gave up 5 runs here in game 1. Both bullpens have put up nothing but zeros. And John, from one hard-throwing, filthy righty to another, and Rafael Montero.
Yeah, a little smaller version, but he slings it.
Alec Bohm leads off and takes strike 1. Now, Bohm has a 2-run double in this game. Also has a great defensive play at third. It's part of this resurgent year. He struggled in the postseason for the most part, right at 200. They're having a good first game of his first World Series. He's in an 0-2 hole.
Well, he's going to throw against right-handers, primarily fastball, 75% clip, but then he's going to throw his slider off a bit with an occasional change. But I said he's not very big, but he gets that ball to home plate really quick.
Wiry, just snaps it. Montero's now pitched in 7 of the 8 games this postseason for the Astros. 32-year-old having a breakout year and striking out Bohm on 3 pitches.
Not quite Pedro Martinez, but kind of the style that the ball would come out of the hand of the great Pedro.
Montero's somebody who had parts of 4 years with the New York Mets. A lot of that was as a starting pitcher. And then he missed a year, and then he goes to Texas and Seattle, to Houston at the deadline last year. Strike 1 on Bryson Stott. One of the many guys that has gone from good to dominant here in 2022 for the Astros bullpen. Stott with 2 Ks and a walk. Back-to-back heaters, 0-2.
Free and easy and lets it go. You know, for the Astros, you already touched on it. Because their starters went so deep, their bullpen's still pretty fresh with a longer playoff system. Yes, you got to rest because they had a bye in the first round, but boy, does that help a team get through this journey when you have that many arms to go to.
All hard stuff so far. Stays with it and just misses. Bryson Stott, who fouled off 5 pitches in an at-bat against Justin Verlander to coax a walk out of him eventually. On a 1-2 pitch, it's a fly ball to deep right center field. McCormick has room. 2 gone in the 8th.
I'm going to make this statement. It's a little premature, but I can't. It would be hard pressed if the Phillies were able to win the World Series. I think it would be the most improbable win of a World Series of anybody that in my time frame, for what they came from, what they had to do, who they had to beat, a new playoff system that I don't think will be the norm. Meaning, does this mean teams that just get in will get to the postseason and the World Series? No, they have just proved to themselves and that team what grit and grind has done. So look, they've overcome a lot already.
Segura with 2 gone, gets under it. Rafael Montero carves right through him in the 8th. To the bottom half we go in a 5-5 game. Part of the lineup coming up for the Astros. Alex Bregman having a monster postseason. He leads things off. Get your game on at MLBshop.com. Authentic on-field caps, tees, hoodies, and more. All your postseason Phillies and Astros gear. Wear what the champs wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. To the bottom of the 8th we go in game 1, tied at 5. Part of the order for the Astros, Alex Bregman to lead off. And it's against Ranger Suarez, who came on to get the last out of the 7th inning. He struck out Yordan Alvarez. Game 3 starter for Philadelphia, trying to beat the bridge to the back end of the bullpen here in game 1. First one to Bregman is bounced back to him, and the best fielding pitcher in the National League this year. Looks like he's out there playing in the backyard.
Well, he just finishes in such a good position to be able to do this.
So calm. I mean, doesn't he look like he's playing catch on a Sunday afternoon back home?
Yeah. He definitely got a slow heartbeat, but he's going to face one more hitter, and that guy has been a wrecker for Philadelphia. Driven in 4 by himself. Tucker trying to get a third one.
And we showed those 3 home runs that Suarez gave up to the Astros back on October 4th. One of them came to Tucker. One of the 30 that he hit during the regular season. 2 of them tonight. Here in the 8th, cracks his bat on a flare that is foul. It's the second bat that he's broken. 2 homers, 2 broken bats. First player in Astros history to have multiple home runs in a World Series game, and he's the 4th guy to homer in each of his first 2 plate appearances of a World Series. You were the beneficiary of one of the other 3.
Andrew Jones, yeah, first 2 swings in his World Series debut against Eddie Pettit.
Kyle Tucker, for so long, underrated. A night like this, that's probably not going to be the case anymore. Putting himself into the spotlight. Chopping one foul. 0-2. Well, there are times like Sunday in Philadelphia when the Stars make the game, right? Bryce Harper hits the home run. But there are nights like tonight where the game can make stars, where the postseason can make heroes out of a guy like Kyle Tucker. Solo shot in the 2nd, 3-run homer in the 3rd. Here in the 8th, he takes the ball, and it's 1-2.
Well, the Astros, besides their great run of the last 6 years, a lot of these guys, they seem comfortable in close games. You know why? Because they're a confident team. They've played a lot of close games this postseason and won them all. But I mean, 5-5, bottom of the 8th, no big deal for the Astros.
Yeah, ho hum. Tucker rips a base hit, his 3rd of the game. And the go-ahead run is aboard here in the 8th. Kyle Tucker, star the Game 1 show for the Astros.
Well, they got a pitch to hit, and this ball out over the plate. And again, the same kind of swing. See how flat the bat is through the zone? This time, a line drive instead of a big, long fly ball.
Ranger Suarez does what he's asked to do. Faces 3 hitters, faces the 2 left-handers, gets one of them, gives up a hit to the other. Rob Thompson out there to take it from him and bring on Seranthony Dominguez. Tied at 5 in the 8th inning. Series tied at 5, bottom of the 8th. Seranthony Dominguez, the top arm out of the Phillies bullpen. Runner at first. He'll check on him. He's on to face Yuli Gurriel. And Dominguez has been a different guy here in 2022, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Facing a veteran of the postseason here in Yuli Gurriel, who's got 2 hits tonight. Fouls off 100.
Yeah, the challenge for Yuli is going to be hitting a fastball over 95 miles an hour. That's where his average goes down. And I don't know that this man's thrown a pitch under 95 miles an hour this postseason on a fastball.
I mean, the other stuff's not even that far below it. Base hit for Tucker. He's at first. Gurriel grounds one to 3rd. Bones got it to 2nd one. Segura to first late. They get the lead runner. Bohm another solid play at the hot corner. Gurriel's on with the fielder's choice. 2 away.
Playing way off the bag, and a ground ball to his backhand side. He makes a nice throw, but when he makes that throw, the most important part was to make a good throw. More than likely, they weren't going to get a double play on that ball.
So 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Trey Mancini. Big swing and a miss. Slider from Seranthony Dominguez to get strike 1. But Dominguez, who is an admitted overthinker, really hard on himself. Said he started to trust it early on in this postseason, and he said, I'm back. I'm a different guy. Believing like never before. His 0-1 pitch. Got another chase, and it's 0-2. And why not go out there again? There's Ryan Presley.
Yeah, 2 off the plate. Obviously, Mancini not seeing the spin.
Oh, 2 goes back there and gets him. 3 consecutive spinners away to get Mancini. Ben John, they go great, 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 best. Ryan Presley here in the 9th.
Nothing straight on Ryan Presley. A lot of cutters and big over-the-top curveball.
9-1-2 for the Phillies. Brandon Marsh, who's got a double in this game. Swings and misses at a first pitch breaker. Ryan Presley's pitched in 5 games this postseason. He's not given up a run. He's one of the best in the American League. Presley got him from the Twins at the deadline in 2018. His 0-1 pitch. Inside corner. Tighter breaking pitch.
Yeah, everything's going to have cut action on it. And the Phillies would take this scenario. If you told them they'd be tied going into the 9th inning to put pressure on Houston, they'd take it. Rob Thompson pulling all the right moves. Aggressive with his bullpen.
Curve, then a slider. Now an 0-2 goes back to the curve, and it's 1-2. And both bullpens putting up nothing but zeros tonight. It's the starters that gave up all 5. The Astros, they got 2 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd against Aaron Nola. Phillies got 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th against Justin Verlander after they didn't have a base runner against him through 3 innings. Brandon Marsh starting the 9th. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I don't know if the crowd's got it like a nervousness to it. I mean, they're seeing their club win every close game so far in the postseason. But here at the top of the 9th, we're hoping for at least a chance to bat with it tied.
8-9-1 coming up for the Astros in the bottom of the 9th inning. Astros team that's won 10 consecutive 1-run games back to the regular season. Bouncing ball to second for Jose Altuve, and Marsh is the first out of the 9th. For every home run hit this postseason, T-Mobile's donating $5,000 to Team Rubicon's hurricane recovery efforts. And when you text RELIEF to 595959, T-Mobile will donate another $5. 82 homers hit, over $400,000 in donations for hurricane relief. So back to the top of the order, and Kyle Schwarber has got a walk and a single tonight. First pitch from Presley is a breaking pitch low. That is what Schwarber has struggled with this postseason. He has crushed fastballs. He's not done anything against breaking pitches or changeups. That was some legendary postseason performances. Try to add another to that storybook. On a 1-0, Schwarber has his knees buckled on a strike, and it's 1-1.
See the difference on that pitch. If that's over the plate, Schwarber has a better chance to get his hands out and let that bat go. But it looks inside, and when it looks inside, it feels like to a hitter it's going to keep chasing you. But it hits the upper quadrant of that strike zone. I think that Schwarber's best chance would be for a breaking ball all out over the plate that doesn't crowd him.
Ball.
Inside ball 2.
Because he can throw this cutter off of any of the breaking balls that he has, it really makes it hard for the hitter to recognize the difference.
A couple guys that have been here before. Presley against Schwarber in a tie game in the 9th inning. 2-1 pitch. Schwarber takes the strike, and it's 2-2. Two. Down the line foul.
Off my glove.
Who will it be? Who's going to have that big swing? Who's going to have the one that we'll always talk about? Game 1 of the World Series, tied at 5 in the 9th inning. On a 2-2, Schwarber takes ball 3. He's worked it full.
That's what he does. He always has. Yes, there's a high strikeout total at the end of the year in the regular season, but he can make the pitcher throw a lot of pitches, especially with 2 strikes. Now, he's not going to be into a 2-strike approach. He's still trying to drive the ball, but he's looking for a mistake.
Phillies trying to steal one in Houston. In the World Series for the first time since 2009. Simply in the playoffs for the first time since 2011 this year. They had the longest drought in the National League. And the first year, Philly Schwarber. Watch his strike 3. Second changeup that Presley pulls. He only threw a handful of those all regular season, twice here in the 9th inning of the World Series.
2 gutsy pitches right here. There's the changeup grip. And this was supposed to be away, but it locks him up in. It's probably the last pitch that Schwarber thought he would see after seeing all that spin. What a great pitch, 3-2.
And how about him digging deep into the arsenal? His 4th pitch, his 4th option, is what he finishes Schwarber with. 2 gone in the 9th, and it's Rhys Hoskins. Ball, taking ball 1.
Rhys, same kind of hitter. He'll struggle against breaking balls. He's looking for something middle in to pull, middle in for power. And of course, Presley's going to try to keep everything away if he can.
1-0. Hoskins fouls it back.
Wow, that was close to being the part that he wanted to. That is a classic swing for Hoskins. When he broke into the league, he hit a ton of those pitches for homers, just missing it right there.
Presley's 1-1. Hoskins golfs it on the diamond. Left side of the infield, it's Pena. This game is, wow! Into the bottom of the 9th. Pena catches it twice. It counts as the 3rd out. 8-9-1 coming to the plate. Astros looking for old people. All right, so here we go. Tied up to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-9-1 for the Astros against the best the Phillies have at the back end in Dominguez. It's Chas McCormick. It's a foul and strike 1.
Well, we sit in the 5th that Rob Thompson was putting forth the high leverage guys to try to keep the game tied and hope that his offense would score. Well, he's done that part, keeping the game tied, but the offense couldn't muster anything so far against the great Houston bullpen. And he's got his big boy out there again, Suarez, trying to get him to the 10th.
0-1 pitch. McCormick shoots it foul, and it's 0-2.
Sorry, Dominguez, not Suarez. Suarez was the horse for San Diego. They gave up the 2-run homer to Harper, so the reason the Phillies are here. But Dominguez trying to extend the game into the 10th.
Hey, there's a lot of dudes coming out of that bullpen.
Yeah.
I understand you mixing a couple of them up. It's the 4th one of the game for the Phillies. The Astros used 4 as well after the starters didn't really have it. All 10 runs in this game against the starting pitchers. 0-2. After McCormick, it's Maldonado and then Altuve. Now the Astros, all these postseason appearances, their 4th trip to the World Series over the last 6 years. They only have 1 walk-off win in the World Series in franchise history. One of the wackiest games we've ever seen. Game 5 against the Dodgers in 2017. Alex Bregman provided the winning hit. A 13-12 game. Here in the 9th, it's McCormick. He takes high, and the count evens 2-2. Answer to one of the questions for the Astros going back a couple years. Who's the guy in center field? Trying to answer the question, who's the hero in game 1? 2-2. Down swinging. 1 gone in the 9th. Pinch hitter coming up here, Christian Vasquez sent up for Martin Maldonado. $250,000 has already been donated to the Jackie Robinson Foundation through the Capital One walk-off program. For every walk-off during the World Series, Capital One will donate another $75,000 to the foundation. It's on to the 75th anniversary of Jackie breaking the color barrier. Well, here's another guy who's not been with the Astros, but who is very comfortable in big spots. Had a walk-off home run for the Boston Red Sox in the postseason last year. A World Series with the Red Sox in 2018. Limited playing time this postseason. Dusty Baker looking for a lightning strike. Perfect pitch. Strike 1.
Well, his power stroke, which he found a couple years ago, haven't really connected with that, but he does have power, likes the ball down.
On this 0-1, they're coming inside, and he takes it. Alex Cora, his manager in Boston, always said about it, yeah, you know, no matter what you say, you still always bet on this guy in the spotlight. Just the kind of guy that loves these kinds of spots. 32-year-old in his 8th year in the majors. Deadline pickup. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, and it's 1-2.
Well, you know the clubs have opportunities to go get some swings underneath, but can you imagine sitting most of the game and then coming in the 9th inning in a tie game and facing 100 and a slider that we've seen just disappear on the outside part of the plate.
Man, such is life. Pinch hitters these days. Everybody coming out of bullpens doing stuff like this. A 1-2 pitch. Vasquez takes ball 2. No matter what happens here, the Astros are going to get Jose Altuve to the plate with a chance to win it. Unless, of course, Vasquez ends it himself. David Robertson has started to warm. Two-two pitch. Full count on Vasquez. And in the Astros bullpen, it's Luis Garcia. They're saying, hey, we might have a long one going again. We might need you. He was the man in that 18-inning game in Seattle.
Well, Vasquez looking for one pitch to try and use his power stroke. And if it's not there, gladly go to first. But here's the big pitch of the night.
3-2. It's a check swing, and he went around. Couldn't lay off that breaking ball. 2 gone in the 9th.
And he did go. That was a great pitch on the outside part of the plate. And here's lightning in the bottle. He's always a moment away from lightning in the bottle. Altuve. I watched his batting practice. He put on a little bit of a show from the home run hitting aspect in the batting practice.
Only Manny Ramirez has hit more home runs in the postseason all time. Altuve takes strike 1 on a pitch that backed up but still found the strike zone. And all those struggles so far this October, you can put those in the rear view. Those aren't going to matter much at all if you can win this game here. 0 for 4 tonight and 3 for 37. Always one swing from flipping that all around. On this 0-1 pitch, Altuve takes a ball.
See, now that's a better take. That would mean if you're looking at seeing when is Altuve going to come out of it, that take right there means something to a hitter. Sometimes it does take the ability to track a baseball better that gets you back on line. That right there. See if he can stay disciplined against this pitcher to stay off that pitch.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Fastball away. You can see the back foot of Altuve coming off the ground, trying to hit that pitch.
The 1-2 pitch stays alive. Jose has 4 walk-off home runs in his career. One of those in the postseason, a famous one to clinch the pennant against Aroldis Chapman. Face of this most dominant era of Astros baseball. 5-5 9th inning. 1-2. Altuve flies it to center field. Marsh coming on, still coming. That ball's down. Altuve with a dunk shot, base hit, and the winning run is aboard with 2 out in the 9th.
Well, Marsh was playing pretty deep, and this big swing did not result in a fly ball. Watch how deep he's playing. You see how he goes back just a little bit? That's all it took. Big swing, little power out of this guy, and he thinks it's an out right away, but now he recognizes, oh, I got rewarded.
And Jeremy Pena gets rewarded with a chance to be the hero in the 9th inning. He's answered every question along the way. Filled in for Correa. Could he do it in the postseason? He's done that. Can he do it in the World Series? There goes Altuve. Throw for the Alberto. Not in time. Winning run into scoring position.
Huge jump. JT made it almost a perfect throw. One hop on the bag. Take a look just because you can. Huge jump, and JT one hop it right on the bag.
He had no business making that close. That is unreal.
Tell you what, this is going to be an interesting call because that ball goes off of Altuve into the glove while it's on his leg. Watch this. Off the leg, in the glove, but wow, is that enough to overturn it? I don't think so, but unbelievable throw and tag. Get a good view right here, right off the leg into the glove.
This is baseball beauty right here. Winning run on base. Tries to steal his way into scoring position. Impossible throw. Makes it bang, bang. And it goes to review.
So he's not out until right about now, and you see the bag kind of move as the glove goes off the side of his leg to the back leg.
Jose says I'm safe. Saying I don't know.
See, the ball's not in the glove right there. It's off of his leg,
but not quite on the bag
and
yet.
then it gets to the place where he can.
I don't know. I think it's one of those, John, where whatever the call was on the field is probably going to stand.
That was a great tight shot.
JT Realmuto, who just by being back there, a lot of times completely cancels out the running game. And Altuve tries him. Long. Let it just beat him.
You know it's a straight steal. You didn't look back at all. Sometimes you look back to see what the hitter's doing. It was a straight steal to get him into scoring position. So far, he's there.
After review, the call on the field stands.
All right, so stolen base for Jose Altuve, who has brought that dimension back into his game this season. And none bigger than that. Winning run and scoring position for the rookie Jeremy Pena.
Well, now that puts pressures on the outfielders. The outfielders were playing deep when he was at first to prevent the double. Now they can't play as deep. Basically, you're going to play at the depth not only to handle this ball, but in case a base hits in front of you.
Pena takes a strike, 1-1. Just incredible poise from this kid. Son of a big leaguer. Young guy on this veteran Astros team. Trying to win game one. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball off the end of the bat. Short right field. Castellanos saves the day and sends game one to the 10th. Nick Castellanos, of all people, with a diving defensive play. And instead of game one ending in the bottom of the 9th, we've got extra innings. Wow! Counting over to Brandon Marsh, and you can see him looking over there at Nick Castellanos as well, saying, come on in, give yourself a chance at a throw on a base hit. And winds up giving Castellanos a chance to get under this.
Yeah, that was a good read, too. The only way he makes that play is a good read, and certainly that would have been a tough pill to swallow if you're the Phillies on 2 pop flies.
Wow.
That would have fallen in. But that man right there saved the night.
And he gives the heart of the order a chance here. That'll include him. Realmuto, Harper, and Castellanos. In the 10th inning, Luis Garcia. Again, an extra innings duty for the Astros. That's ball 1 to Realmuto. Garcia in the 18-inning game, John. 2 hits over 5 scoreless innings.
Yeah, of course, he's a starter, and it's one of the most unique deliveries you'll ever see. He calls it rocking the baby or rocking the cradle, because he's going to rock and move and kind of tap dance on the mound before he delivers a pitch.
Christian Vasquez, after pinch hitting, stays in. Realmuto takes a strike, and it's 1-1.
The thing you don't understand about his fastball is it doesn't look like it's 98. And that's what makes it special. He just kind of comes out of his hand. He spins the baseball well. But man, he can hum it up there.
Does his dance, nice and easy, comes home and gets strike 2. We got the high 90s and then breaking out of the same window, 89.
And you know, out of that delivery, every once in a while, he can make it a quicker pitch if he wants to, if the timing of the hitter gets off. It certainly is unique. There it is.
Oh, there's the quick pitch, 2-2.
Yeah, and you got to have good balance to be able to do that and not get burned on a bad pitch, because if hitter's watching your delivery and timing your delivery in the sense that, okay, it's the same, and all of a sudden, whoop, that's enough to mess up the timing of the hitter.
Realmuto tied this game with a 2-run double back in the 5th. He starts the 10th by working the count full against Garcia. All the runs in this game got bunched up. The Astros got 2 in the second. They got 3 in the third. Phillies got 3 in the fourth and 2 in the fifth. Bullpen's putting up a bunch of goose eggs. This is the 5th reliever for the Astros. 3-2 from Garcia. Real Muto shoots one in the air the other way. Back goes Tucker at the wall. It's gone. Real Muto starts the 10th with a go-ahead shot. He tied it in the 5th. He gives them the lead in the 10th. And from down 5-0 to lead game 1 6-5.
Relentless. That's all you can say about the Phillies and what they've done. Tucker puts on a great effort to try and rob this home run. I don't think he had a chance, but boy, he went as high over the wall as he could have.
JT Realmuto hits the home run. Now Bryce Harper comes to the plate and grounds it foul.
You're going to see the ball out over the plate, and he just drives it. Keeps everything back and hits this, and Tucker gives it about as good an effort as you can.
Well, home runs have told a big part of the story for the Phillies in this postseason. They hadn't hit one yet tonight. Strung some hits together to tie the game up. They use one to take the lead, and now Harper fouls off a fastball, and it's 0-2. We were talking about it earlier, John, but part of the MVP resume on this Phillies team this year for Realmuto is what he did when Harper went down. In fact, the very next inning, after Harper broke his thumb, Realmuto started that next inning with a homer. He was hitting about .230 at that point. He hit above .300 the rest of the way and carried the team through those 2 months without their star. Harper fouls it off. Down to Ken Rosenthal.
JT, what was your approach against Garcia?
You know, I've actually never faced him before, so honestly, I was trying to see a few pitches early in the count. Was really just trying to get on base for the guys behind me. They've been doing a great job all year long scoring me, so I was just trying to have a good at bat and get on base.
Going around the bases, you hit the go-ahead home run in this game. What's going through your mind?
These next 3 outs are going to be really hard. We got the heart of their lineup coming up, so I'm just trying to focus on getting 3 more outs.
JT, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker for the Astros. These two guys picked up by the Phillies about a month apart in 2019. This is the largest payroll in franchise history. Big acquisition after big acquisition. Those were the first 2 really big ones, Harper and Realmuto. Harper has his second base hit of the game. Into left center field. Big turn, comes back to first. Back-to-back hits to open the 10th against Garcia. We look back at the first one.
Well, got the foot down and again took a pitch and went right with it. And I'm sure rounding the bases felt like he was light.
Three knocked in tonight by JT Realmuto. Harper follows him with a base hit of his own, brings up Nick Castellanos. Well, we're not here without Nick Castellanos doing what he did to finish off game 1 of the division series to extend game 1 of the World Series. A diving catch for the 3rd out of the 9th inning. Remember the Braves, John, in game 1 of that series had this rally going. They got a home run from Matt Olson to get back to within 1, put a couple runners aboard, and then Castellanos had a diving play. Somebody who's been awful defensively, but in the biggest moments, shining out there.
Phillies are doing everything they were probably blamed for in the regular season why they weren't a playoff team. Well, they have done all that they needed to do once the playoffs start. Their defense has not been great, but it's been better. Their bullpen has been really good. And then we documented the starting pitching. So their offense has been timely and opportunistic, to say the least. They bunched some runs together in some crucial innings.
Strike on Castellanos. They've got some elements you like. The starting pitching you mentioned, the ability to hit the ball out of the park. David Robertson, you can tell he's been in this stage before, laughing, smiling down there. Most experienced reliever they've got. But then you sprinkle in the charm, this undeniable charm that's starting to feel like the Phillies have. Up the middle, Altuve will go to second, Pena late to first.
Well, the one thing that, you know, has been overlooked, I guess we've documented it, but it was 5-0 after 2.
Yeah.
5-0, and it still have only given up the 5 runs. So there's your numbers on 5-run leads in the postseason.
589 and 18 when you lead 5-0, when you lead by 5+. And not only did they lead by 5+, John, but they had Justin Verlander, who looked untouchable.
Yeah, so credit again, you know, Nola for holding them in 4 in the 3rd, right? And then Rob Thompson said, I'm going for it. I'm going to cut this offense in 2 with my highest leverage pitchers after that.
Alec Bohm. Strike from Garcia. 2-run double for Bohm tonight. Now, you said it at the time when they went to the bullpen as fast as they did. If you're going to go for it, you better win it.
Yeah, I mean, look, these teams, no one thinks Houston's going to go through the whole postseason without losing, and no one thinks that Philly could go undefeated at home. But Philly knows they got to win one of those games on the road so that they can at least test that philosophy when they go back home to that raucous crowd. So this has been a very entertaining and a very different way to get to a 6-5 game with the starters we had lined up.
And look who's coming up. This thing's far from over. Teeth of the lineup for the Astros. Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker. All guys that, at this score, could tie it up with one swing. Phillies looking for some insurance. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Bohm. Bouncing ball, gently hit to third. Bregman with a bare hand. It's his only chance, and he makes the play. Alex Bregman. Beautiful stuff. 2 gone in the 10th.
We've had some really exceptional plays, and this one is right up there with him. I mean, it is a do-or-die play, and he made it look relatively easy.
Dusty Baker coming out, and this is going to be a much different kind of outing for Luis Garcia than the 5-inning March in the 18-inning game in the division series. Gives up the home run to JT Realmuto. 6-5 Phillies in the 10th inning of game 1. Top of the 10th and back in Philly. What a scene. It's as wonderful of a sports scene as you are ever going to find. And it was like that in the division series. Up a notch in the championship series. What's it going to be like on Halloween night, game 3?
Oh, boy.
Huh? Castellanos is in scoring position. And Stott is at the plate. This is Ryan Stanek. And this is, I think, the best example of how dominant this bullpen has been. Stanek's hardly pitched. This guy set the Astros record for ERA during the regular season, and they've hardly used him in the postseason.
Yeah, he's got that split finger he can go to at any time, and 4 strikeouts in the 2 innings that he has worked.
Bryson Stott, some insurance out there in scoring position. 2 gone in the 10th. Fly ball back of third. Bregman has already made 1 fantastic play. Looking for another, but out of room as that ball hit the net. And the count evens 1-1. And the Phillies will try to hold onto this lead. And then they've got Zach Wheeler going tomorrow, who has started the first game of the previous series, but they gave him an extra day of rest. Them having finished off the championship series. He's more overwhelming than Nola. Nola a little bit better in terms of the command, but Wheeler overwhelmingly powerful stuff. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 on Stott.
Yeah, his fastball has been on an uptick in velocity in the postseason. You can understand that. But he has been hard to hit with his fastball, that's for sure.
Stanek's 1-2.
Ball.
The 2-2 to Bryson Stott. Chop foul. The Phillies are trying to become the first team in 20 years to win a World Series game after trailing by 5. Last time it happened, Dusty Baker was on the wrong end of that one too. Game 6 of the World Series in 2002. His Giants were on the verge of beating the Angels when the Angels got 3 in the 7th and 3 in the 8th, and then won Game 7 the next night. 2-2. Count.
Well, I'll say this about an offense that has a little bit more of an aggressive approach and more swing and miss. It seems to me that they've gotten a lot of counts in their favor. So a lot of 0-2, 1-2 to 3-2 and put a lot of pressure on this really good Houston pitching staff. Whereas you would think that would be the opposite, where Houston has done that to most of their opponents.
Because we've seen, John, they're going to do what they do. Yep. They're going to stay aggressive. Can they stay alive when they're staying aggressive? Tonight they have, and then come through. That's a walk for Stott, his second one. The Astros have never won a Game 1 of the World Series. Down 6-5 here. They're just hoping that Stanek can keep it right here. Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker coming up. Gene Segura fouls off the first one right on his knuckles from Stanek. Oh for 4 tonight for Gene in his first World Series game.
But of the bottom order, he's the scariest of the 3. Stott has proved himself worthy, gets on base, battles, had a great at bat against Verlander. But this guy, very unorthodox, can hurt you at any count. He can hurt you 0-2, 3-1. He has the same approach. He usually finds the barrel of the bat to the ball. He won't beat you most of the times with power. He'll just find hits. He's a hit machine. In my opinion, he's hunting for hits.
You have an era where it's about home runs. This is a guy who's close to a 300 hitter in his career. Yeah, both his big hits in this postseason have come on pitches way out of the zone, just putting them in play. Pops this one off of the hands. Vasquez can't get there. For that flat swing, those quick hands that Gene Segura's got, the bat-to-ball ability. He says all can be traced back to 2 things from his childhood in the Dominican Republic. One of them is hours and days spent as a kid hitting plastic bottle caps with a broom handle. And then the other thing is years of playing competitive softball. The low release point, the shorter distance. You got to have a short swing. You got to have good hands.
Come on! Come on!
32-year-old in his 11th major league season. First trip to the postseason, first trip to the World Series. 2 on, 2 out in the 10th. Another 0-2 pitch. Segura cracks a soft liner to third that's caught by Bregman. The Phillies have taken the lead and a home run from JT Realmuto. David Robertson coming on. The Astros have the guys they want coming up. Buckle up to the bottom of the 10th. And they've got Verlander on the mound. You can seal game 1. Oh boy. 3 for the Phillies in the 4th, 2 for the Phillies in the 5th. They take the lead on a Realmuto home run in the 10th. And now David Robertson on to try and lock this one down.
Well, David Robertson was in that last game trying to lock it down, walked a couple batters, and that's where Suarez came in and finished the deal. But on the year, it's been very difficult for hitters to square up his curveball. He, a lot like some of the guys in the game, can spin it. It's that knuckle curveball that goes out of his hand, pops straight up, and goes straight down in the zone.
Edmundo Sosa replaces Alec Bohm in third. And boy, Robertson's going to have to earn it. Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker coming up for the Astros. 1 to extend it, 2 to win game 1. Alvarez has saved them before. Game 1 of the division series. Walk-off home run. What a way to get this 118th World Series started. 6-5 in the 10th inning. Alvarez on a first pitch curve was ready for it. .27 of his 37 home runs came against right-handed pitchers this year. Tonight he's 0 for 3. On an 0-1 pitch, Alvarez. Down the left field line, foul.
That's a good pitch right there. He had to try and get a fastball up in the zone to change his eyesight for that breaking ball he can throw. Lightning quick bat for Alvarez. He has struggled since that monumental game, the first series he had against Seattle.
Robertson's 0-2. Fouled off. We'll do it again. The Phillies have 2 players that have pitched, that have played in the World Series before. We've detailed Kyle Schwarber's story. David Robertson is the other. A veteran of 38 postseason games now, including a trip to the World Series with the New York Yankees. Another 0-2 pitch. Ball 1.
Off.
He is not the closer for this team. This is just kind of where this journey has taken Rob Thompson in the bullpen. Had a very aggressively managed game. Robertson trying to get him to the finish line. The 1-2 pitch. Alvarez fouls back another.
Well, just the fact that he came back as quick as he did after a freakish injury and celebrating. I believe it was the home run, right?
Yeah.
And I know Rob Thompson was worried he wouldn't maybe get him till this point, if at all. But he came back early for last series.
Yeah, I was celebrating Bryce Harper's home run in the wild card round in St. Louis. Down in the bullpen, he injured his calf, and Rob thought it was so bad that, yeah, if we get to the World Series, maybe then. That's the whole thing, though. If we get to the World Series, the Phillies weren't talking like that until recent days. Yordan Alvarez starting the 10th. Chasing one in the dirt. Robertson buries it. And buries Alvarez for the first out of the 10th.
Tight spin. Not picked up. There's the grip. That spiked curveball. And right now the Phillies pitchers have done a job on the Houston Astros. That's the 10th, right? Strikeout, I believe. And big one to start the 10th.
Now it's Bregman. Tying run at the plate. Bregman swings and misses. He's out in front. Aaron Nola tonight gave up 5 runs in 4 1/3, and so the bullpen went to work very early. And a Phillies bullpen that in these recent years of falling short has kind of been the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
Historically bad a couple of times. But it's the bullpen trying to get it done in game one. 5 pitchers piecing it together after Nola. The 0-1 pitch. Ball 1.
Yeah, when you think about some of the ways that they've shored up their ball club, you look no farther than the bullpen. I mean, you lose games late in the regular season, it takes the soul out of your ball club. You lose a lot of those games you should have won.
1-2.
And then when you get the confidence that they have, and really the 3 or 4 guys that they run out there, it then becomes the advantage you feel like you had. You turn a weakness into an advantage. Now, the starters have been a big part of that because they've eaten up a lot of those innings to hide some of that. But when you get on a roll and you get some hot guys, that's how you can run the table in the postseason.
No runs over 5 innings tonight. Just 4 base runners in those 5 innings. Robertson deals 1-2. Bregman off balance, lofts one to deep left. Schwarber to the wall, off the wall. Extra bases for Bregman. Tying run in scoring position in the 10th as Bregman delivers a double.
Well, it's been right field that's come into play for most of this game, but here's that short porch that we talked about in left field. Looks like maybe just a fly ball, but no, that left field fence, miniature Fenway fence, comes into play. Schwarber gives us a great effort as this is just outside his reach. And now a runner in scoring position for Tucker.
Well, it's another instance this postseason of the game giving us the guy of the night the moment again. 2 home runs already for Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, you never want to give in to a guy, but there is a base open if this pitching sequence doesn't go the way Robertson wants.
First one. Little low, ball 1.
Because the tying run is obviously at second. The winning run's at home. So that's what you're concerned with. And if this at bat gets away from a 2-0, 3-1 count, I wouldn't be surprised to have Rob Thompson just put the runner on and set up a double play for Gurriel to come up behind him.
Astros looking for their first run since the 3rd inning. 1-0 pitch. Big rip. He tried to end it.
You almost know you're going to get one of these pitches, and sometimes you see it and your eyes get big and you go after it. Boy, did he go after it.
Bregman at second, the tying run. 1 gone, bottom of the 10th. 1-1 pitch. Tucker chops it foul, strike 2.
That was a slower version. I wonder if you'll give him the firmer breaking ball here with 2 strikes.
One-two pitch. Tucker takes ball 2. Phillies ahead for the first time tonight on a home run from JT Realmuto to start the top of the 10th. Bregman giving the Astros some life. In scoring position after his double. On a 2-2 pitch. Kyle Tucker swings and misses. Robertson gets him with a breaking ball, and the Astros are down to their last out.
It's been amazing. You know, the NBA is a game of runs, right? I mean, that's what they say. One team makes a run, the other team makes a run. You don't see the amount of runs literally like in the postseason where the Phillies have made their series of runs. They've scored 6 straight. They did that a couple times already this postseason.
And now Gurriel trying to beat the buzzer for the Astros. He's got 2 more hits tonight. He's come to life in this postseason, and he's got good numbers against David Robertson. 38-year-old veteran Yuli Gurriel. Perfect pitch from Robertson. Strike 1.
And with the infield playing the way they are, they have to play them straight up. As you see this pitch on the outside part of the plate, Bregman's going to have to get as big a lead as he can with 2 outs to make sure he can score on a hard hit single or a line drive. Nobody close to holding him on, really, for the Phillies.
Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gurriel has played in 80 postseason games. He's got 8 postseason home runs, including 3 in the World Series. Tying run at second. Astros down to their last out. 2-1 on Gurriel. DH spot is next. And Aledmys Diaz, if it gets there, will pinch it for Trey Mancini. Here's a 2-1. Takes ball 3.
I can't make Gurriel beat me if I'm Robertson. Base open again. You never want to put the go-ahead run on, but he's pitching them as if he doesn't expand the zone. He wouldn't mind walking him to get to Diaz.
There's just 1 for 14 this postseason. Hot hitter at the plate. Gurriel has taken ball 4. And now the winning run is aboard. Nothing easy. Aledmys Diaz to pinch hit for Trey Mancini.
No, but you could tell that was a pitch around. Maybe he'll swing, but that's one of the toughest hitters. He didn't swing and miss much, and he wasn't going to fall for the bait.
And so with Mancini 0 for 16 in the postseason now, he goes to Aledmys Diaz, who's just 1 for 14 in the postseason.
But you know what? One of the things, sometimes a matchup can work in your favor. He's been pretty good on sliders and staying on the ball on the year. Maybe that's part of the remind Robertson of the scouting report and what this guy does or doesn't do and try to attack him that way.
Aledmys Diaz has been with the Astros for 4 seasons now, 32 years old. He's been such a valuable piece, really as a role guy, stepping in wherever they need him, plugging holes with injuries. Super utility man, tries to be more like Superman here in the 10th of Game 1 in the World Series. Aledmys Diaz pinch hitting with the game on the line. It's a wild pitch! Off the net, runners advance. Tying run 90 feet away, winning run in scoring position.
Now there'll be a lot of pressure on JT with all that spin. It would have been gutsy for Bregman. No one was holding him on, but now you got pressure built in. You like that pitch if you're Robertson, and now it puts a little doubt in your mind about bouncing that with the tying run at third. We saw the Phillies take advantage of that in their previous series, although be it a wet condition, sloppy out on the mound, tough to throw pitches.
Second and third, 2 gone in the 10th. Diaz almost got hit. 2-0. McCormick on deck.
Ooh. Very close.
Bregman at third, Gurriel at second. 2-0 pitch. This time he does get hit, but he leaned into it, and they're going to bring him back.
Wow, you don't see that very often. You don't see that call made, but that was the call made. Inability to get out of the way and almost dove into it. Yep.
So 3-0 instead of Diaz aboard with the bases loaded.
Sometimes you can make an argument that would have been a strike.
Yeah, the way his stuff moves. It's like, you seen my stuff break? Come on. And Robertson is making that case, saying, hey, let's try to bring that baby back. 3 balls, no strikes. On the pinch hitting Aledmys Diaz. Tying run at third, winning run at second. A green light and strike 1. Whew.
That's an aggressive, I'm going to swing no matter what green light it looked like right there, because this ball down away from him.
3-1 pitch. Diaz bounces one to third for Sosa. Steps into his throw in time, and the Phillies take game 1. Their improbable run continues with an improbable game 1 win in the World Series from down 5-0 to win, John, 6-5.
It's hard to explain. I mean, it really is hard to explain, other than the team that really feels like they're the team that's supposed to win it, and there's the team that got in the lead. The last team to get in is now taking game 1 and the first loss for the Houston Astros in the postseason. Hard to imagine that down 5-0 you could say that's what was going to give the Astros their first loss.
Astros did not score after the 3rd inning. The Phillies have the largest comeback for a National League team in the World Series since 1956. The Dodgers came back from down 6 to win, and the 2nd largest in National League World Series history.